Okay, my friends, we should be live. Drop me a comment if you are watching live. Um, and if you also could help me out and share this, I'm just double checking all the tech here, just making sure that everything is the way it should be. But please, if you are watching live Sunday, September 29th, and you want to get your high level learning jam on, let me know in the comments. Please, please let me know in the comments as I just finalize the tech and get everything the way it should be. So I see we're live there. We're live there. Okay. Hey, my friends, this is this. This is us. This is a spontaneous live. Before you click away, my name is Patrick Almond. I run an agency here at Stop Doing Nothing Media. And I just decided to spontaneously go live to do a little bit of marketing talk, and specifically for the people who use a tool which we are certified admins for here called HighLevel CRM. And for those of you that don't know what this is probably the most all-in-one tool you will find on the internet now when it comes to generating leads, when it comes to building landing pages, websites, blog posts, selling stuff, building e-commerce stores, doing marketing automation, tracking where your leads are coming from, managing your inbound phone calls, managing your text message marketing. This is just a heck of a cool tool. And I had some people today who had some questions, and I am waiting for them to show up. Let me hop over here real quick and yeah, I'm just gonna double check, make sure I got some people here with some questions here. And okay, let me see. What do we got here? Okay, so while I'm waiting for some specific questions to show up, what you're seeing on my screen right now is an instance of our HighLevel CRM. And what this particular one is, it's always funny when you're sharing your screen, you're moving your mouse because you're like moving the mouse, but you're looking at the screen. The mouse is moving on, so it's always fun there. So this is our training slash test instance of HighLevel here, and I'm going to ignore this here, and we're going to kind of walk through. I'm going to kind of make up some scenarios here while I'm waiting for some Q&A to come in. Um, uh, with people that have some specific needs, but I just want to kind of quickly walk you through what you are seeing in front of you. Okay, this is the dashboard you see when you log in. Okay, this is your conversations, and since this is a test instance, I don't have too many here, but this is all of your SMS, Instagram, WhatsApp conversations right here that you kind of have to keep track of on when you're in the CRM. This is your calendar where you set this up for people to book appointments with you, so it replaces the Calendly and the Schedule Once type tools of the world. Of course, you have your full contact list management here. Your opportunities are your opportunities are your, more of your kind of your high ticket or mid-level ticket business, literally opportunities, leads, deals, whatever you want to call them, that you're nurturing, and you define this here in a pipeline here. And again, if you're just coming on watching live and you're familiar with this, or there's a specific question you want me to cover, please drop it in the comments there. Okay. Ignore these these middle three right here. That's part of a beta test that I'm on. Those are not specifically, those are things I created. So don't think that HighLevel has a object called events or event tickets. Those are things Patrick created. Payments gives you a place to issue invoices and do your documents and contracts and your orders, your subscriptions, basically define your products that you're selling, see a history of transactions, create your coupons, things like that there. Marketing is where you do all of your social media scheduling. Yes, you can have social media scheduling. Recently, they added countdown timers to create some scarcity and some urgency. A whole built-in affiliate program right there. Automation is the part that really jazzes me up. Automation allows you to take any kind of triggering event in your marketing and do some automatic follow-up stuff with it. And automation is basically where you're creating a new staff member 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that just does stuff for you. And again, I'm waiting in the comments for your questions for something for me to pursue here. Just giving a quick tour. Sites is where you have all of your landing pages, your funnels, your websites, your e-commerce stores, your blogging. There's a whole client portal here where people can see their bills. They can log in. You can have a forum and courses, forums and surveys. Pretty much kind of self-explanatory if you ask me. QR code management, memberships is where you define your communities and your courses. So pretty cool stuff there. And I could just go on and on and on here, but I'm kind of trying to come up with some things that most people want to see. Okay, one of the areas I think that HighLevel people don't take really a lot of advantage of in this tool is opportunities. So let's talk about opportunities while we wait for some audience questions here. Okay, if you are somebody who has a business that has leads in it, you are going to want to track those. Okay, and you're going to want to define how they move through your pipeline. Okay, oftentimes you'll see a pipeline like I have right here, and you have to think about how your business flows. Okay, and again, this isn't for people who meet someone and close appointments in the same day. That's not really what this is for. This is for those of you who have a longer sales cycle, if you will. Okay, and you need to keep track of where people are and what their next steps are. Okay, this often in my world, this often has to deal with high ticket marketing things. Usually, people will spend easy money on things that are $10, $20, $50, even $100. Depending on your industry, up to $500 and $1,000. But sometimes, if you're selling someone something that's $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, that's not a quick sale. And for those of you in the really high ticket items, I mean, if you're selling something that maybe $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, you have a longer sales cycle. But you always want to keep track of where people are. You don't ever want to try and remember where people are. You'll screw this up. Okay, and I know this from personal history. And I know this from other people. When you try to remember what's going on in your business and not write it down and not always create an area where there are next steps, okay, you're going to forget this. Okay, you are definitely 100% going to forget this kind of stuff. Hold on, hold on, just commenting on something here. You are definitely 100% going to forget this stuff. So you do not want to be the business owner that relies on remembering this stuff. And so the way you do that is you come over here and you define your sales cycle, or here it's called a pipeline. Kind of thing. And so in HighLevel, you basically can have various pipelines depending on what you're selling. So over here in the pipelines area, you'll see that I have 3 pipelines for different projects that I'm working on. But let's say you're somebody who wants to get into public speaking, okay? Or you're going to be selling a new service that has a significantly different sales cycle than all of the other services. Well, then you would create a new pipeline for that, okay? So let's come over here to pipeline, and let's say I'm somebody who I want to get more speaking gigs, okay? And I always tend to name my pipelines in terms of what happens next, okay? So I'm going to name this pipeline needs outreach, okay? Pending meeting 1. We'll say this one is somebody has an interest, pending meeting 1. Pending, sometimes you have to have a couple of meetings, so we'll say pending meeting 2. Send a contract waiting. This is a very common one. So we get hired by other agencies and by people who sell high ticket things to build pipelines like this for them. So I'm going to construct a very basic, simple one here, okay? Waiting for contract signing. Send invoice, waiting for payment. Now, what's cool about HighLevel and the whole marketing automation engine here is that that you can use these not only as a way to keep track of where your leads are, you can also use them as triggering events. You can also use them as triggering events to do other things inside of the CRM, okay, which gets into the whole concept of marketing automation. So not only can I use these as, oh, that's a mental reminder for me to do something. You can also use them as a trigger for the system to do something for you, which is the brilliant part of marketing automation. Okay. Um, let's say, for example, like send invoice or like send contract. Let's say your contract process is the same every time, or your invoicing process is the same every time. Okay, you can take it, you can have this tool so when you put something in that status, something kicks off behind the scenes. Okay, I'll give you an example of that here. So here's my pipeline for my speaking gigs. Okay, and I'm going to hop back over to my opportunities, and I'm going to jump to that speaking gigs one. Okay, and now this is something where I can start dropping in leads. So let's say, I have a new opportunity here. I'm gonna use this one of my random contacts here. We'll go with Ivy Slater, and let's say this is a speaking gig for Ivy Slater. And let's say Ivy Slater is going to pay me 10K to come out there. Okay. Well, actually, in this case, I'm going to change that. In this case, Ivy Slater, I haven't even reached out to Ivy Slater yet, but I know that I charge $10,000. So I know that that deal has a potential of $10,000. Now, I may change the price or maybe a little bit flexible, but I know that has the potential of doing that. Okay. But in this particular case, I haven't even reached out to Ivy yet. Okay. Under owner, I'm going to make myself the owner and everything else. Normally, if Ivy had an email, a phone number, it would be filled in here right now. I could put additional contacts that this deal involves, and I could put additional people inside of my company to follow her, to follow this particular deal. Okay, so I'm going to create that, and you're going to see it's going to be in the initial stages of our pipeline. Okay, so there we go. Speaking gig for Ivy Slater. And now this is what you do every single day in your business is you come in here and you look at your pending leads and you move them around. Okay. You move them around, or if you notice something really cool at the bottom of your screen, when you move a deal around, if you win it or lose it, if you win it or lose it, whatever, you can even drag it down there to one of those statuses also. Okay. So this is what you have at the top here. These are called the stages of your marketing funnel. Okay, literally that's the term inside here is these are the different stages of your marketing funnel. And by the way, those of you that are joining me live on the different platforms, please make sure you comment with your questions. I'm kind of winging it here, working on opportunities, which is my favorite part of the tools. But I'm doing this whole thing today because some people had some questions about this tool. So I'm looking for some specific examples to work through. If you are watching, and of course, do me a favor and share this live stream. And you are going to get me as long as I have coffee in this coffee cup, okay? After the coffee's gone, you are kind of on your own again, okay? A little bit of free consulting here for Patrick. And for those of you, by the way, that are going to be down in Dallas here in about, 3 weeks, I think? How far away are we from the Dallas conference? I'm double checking that time frame right now. I have a really cool countdown timer here. 23 hours, 23 minutes, 47 minutes, 23 days, 23 hours, 47 minutes, and 13 seconds. That's how far we are away from the HighLevel Dallas conference. Okay, make sure you come in, say hi to me there hi there in person. Okay. Hold on for just a second. I'm just double checking everything here. Bear with me while I just make sure that all social media stuff is updated. We are now live. Okay. Gotta feed the social media beast, right? Okay. But again, getting back here, what you have here is you have a way to track your pending deals, which is very important for business, especially for those of us that sell high ticket things. Okay, we have a high ticket coaching program. We have people that come to us that want one of our quick 2-hour consults. We have retainer programs where we guide people through soup to nuts of how to set this up and how to get more leads for their business. And those tend to be more on the higher end pricing, if you will. Okay. And we have a pipeline in our business where we do something like this, where we manage these stages. And so what you're going to be doing over time is you're going to be creating more and more opportunities here. Okay, let's go pick another random contact here. We'll pick Jada, and we'll say this one is teaching a breakout for Jada Nelson. Okay, and this one may be a little bit, maybe this one's a little bit lower, $5,000. It's in the pipeline speaking gigs, needs outreach. But let's say actually, let's say this is a result of an in-person meeting, or maybe I met Jada someplace, and I already know Jada and I already exchanged information, so I already know that she has interest. So I don't have to worry about the pending interest. We just got to set up our first meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one over here in pending meeting one. She's the only contact involved in this deal. I'm going to again assign this to myself. And you know what? This one came from Opportunity Source. This one came from an elevator intro. Okay. Or we'll say in-person intro. Okay. One of the things that you should be really tracking closely in your business is where your business is coming from. Okay. And that's where your opportunity source comes into play. And then what you're going to see inside the tool here, is on every contact you also have a lead source. Okay. And people kind of, look at these fields as kind of extra, kind of bizarre one-off data, but this is really important information to track. So contact source right here. That's where basically you're tracking where your leads come from, okay? Your leads may come from ads. Your leads may come from networking events. Your leads may come from conferences. Your leads may come from specific campaigns that you're working on, okay? Let's say, and I'll give you an example. I did an event about maybe a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, for the Urban League here in Oklahoma City. And I set up my entire system so I knew how specific leads came in, okay? And the way I did that is I had people at my table text in a certain keyword to get on my email list to get some free training, okay? And that keyword was unique to that event. So as these leads were coming inside of my CRM, in my marketing automation, I set this contact source to exactly to basically the Urban League event, okay? And I ended up somewhere between 15 and 20 leads. But I can go back in my database now, and as these leads grow and nurture inside of my business, as I help them, I can go back and I can track revenue attributed to those leads. So I can see how much money I made on that. And if I'm a really smart business owner, what I can also do is I can also remember how much money I spent on that event. So, I brought, it took time out of my day. It took 4 or 5 hours out of my day. I have a cost. I had to make, we had to set up a table. Well, the table was already taken care of. But there were some hard costs, paper, pens, candy, stuff like that. And the smart business owner will always look at how much business came from a particular lead source, what were your expenses for that particular marketing campaign, okay? And then what was your ROI on that, okay? And normally we see ROI when it comes to ads. You pay $1 for a click, you make $2, your ROI was 200% on that. But in this particular case, oftentimes in the real world, you've got real hard costs here. So it's always, my point being is it's always important to track where your contacts are coming from, okay? So inside here, we're going to go back to our pipeline here. Okay. Now, again, this is really cool because as you're doing phone calls and as you're working with these leads, you're moving them around. Maybe you thought you had a second meeting, but that didn't pan out, so you move them back over here. At the top, you'll notice what is cool is you can see the value of that particular stage. So if I get this back over here, I can see that in this interest pending meeting one stage right here, I've got $15,000 worth of business here. Now, if you just use this by itself, this would be a tremendous value in your business, okay? If you just use this and every single day you came in here and you had 20 things, let's say you work with a VA. Here's a very good example, okay? Cold marketing. Cold marketing, you're going to put all of your leads in need outreach. Okay, this may come from a database that you buy. This may come from just different marketing efforts where the person has no idea who you are, but you think that they might have an interest. Okay, that means your need outreach column is going to have dozens, if not hundreds of leads in it that you or somebody in your company has to follow up with. Okay. Then then every day when you come into work, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going through the needs outreach column right here. You're going to be going through the needs outreach column right here. And let me see. I'm looking for some questions, Q&A right here. I'm seeing them over in the Facebook group, so I'm going to pull them over here in just a second. But every single day when you come into work, you're going to be going through this needs outreach column here and following up with these people right here. Now, the really cool part, which we get hired to do for companies, is that sometimes you want to take certain actions as you move people through these different stages right here. And that's where your automation comes down into right here, okay? So let's say you want to, oh, I don't know, do something, let's figure out something simple we can do when people get moved to the interest pending meeting 1 stage, okay? I can come down now here in automation, and the first thing I'm going to do is to keep myself organized is I'm going to create a folder. Okay. I probably didn't even spell that right, did I? Thank goodness for autocorrect here. I'm going to create a folder. I like to keep things organized in folders because you end up with a lot of stuff in here. Okay. And inside my folder, I'm going to create a workflow. And a workflow, you can use some models here, or you can just create one from scratch. Patrick almost always creates ones from scratch. A workflow is just basically a top to bottom layout of what happens step by step when someone does a triggering event in your marketing, when someone submits a form, when somebody clicks on an ad and comes to your website and requests more information, when something is dragged from one column to another, when someone purchases something, okay? Inside your business or inside the tech side of your business, you have all these triggering events that people can fire off that people can fire off as a result of being inside of your world. And if you want to see what some of those are, I'm going to click on Add New Trigger here, and you're going to see there's a whole series of things that can trigger a marketing automation, okay? And again, this is one of my favorite parts of the world of digital marketing is the fact that I can have this machine, this almost like this Patrick robot that never sleeps, that's always keeping an eye on my business, and that can say, oh, this happened, then this happened. For those of you that come from the programming world, this is almost like writing a software program to handle some of your marketing tasks. And the beauty of technology and the beauty of marketing is that software never sleeps, okay? So let's just kind of scan through some of these here to see what these would be. Right here, you have this kind of category of different things that are happening on a contact level, okay? Contact created. If a contact gets created, maybe you want to do certain things over and over and over. Notes being added, tasks being added. Contact engagement score is a really good one because that allows you to determine the people who are more engaged on your email list. Events are, again, kind of things that contacts will do. So these things can happen to contacts. These down here oftentimes are things contacts will do. And you can do some really cool stuff, like you can trigger something if someone views a particular page and they're already inside your database. Or you can trigger something if somebody watches a certain percentage of video on your website. Again, just really cool stuff. Appointments, when appointments are booked or canceled or rebooked or rescheduled, you can trigger events. Opportunities, we've been talking about opportunities over in the stages of our opportunities over in our opportunity area, if you will. When different things happen in opportunities, you can do things there. We have a whole affiliate system, so we have a whole set of affiliate actions that we can take. Here for different courses, when somebody starts a course or starts a category or completes a lesson or even logs in, there's a whole set of triggers you can do here, which is really cool because then you can do stuff like keep track of who is engaging with your courses, and you know who started a particular course or lesson, you know who finished a particular course or lesson. You can possibly give them some more points. You're going to gamify your marketing and do all kinds of cool stuff there. Payments, orders coming in, documents, contracts being signed, subscriptions working, failing, whatever. You can do all that here. There is a Shopify integration, so you can do triggering things based on different Shopify integrations. The thing that they something that's kind of really cool here, IVR stands, I think, for interactive voice response or something like that. You can basically set up an entire phone system here that someone can call into a number, and you can have a phone tree. Press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 for this. HighLevel can handle that. That is just going to save you someone answering your phone, okay? Unless, of course, you want a human engagement on your inbound phone calls. Facebook, Instagram comments. This is really cool. What you can do is you can have HighLevel keep an eye on comments on a certain Facebook post. Let's say you do something like you put a Facebook post out there, and oftentimes, on a Facebook post, you'll tell someone to comment cookie if you want this thing, okay? This can keep an eye out for the word cookie on a particular post and then take action based on that. And same on Instagram, okay? Just really cool stuff that in the past you've needed tools like ManyChat for and things like that, okay? Group access, communities. When you see group here, think communities. Communities and groups are synonymous in HighLevel. Basically, if you have a Facebook group, a free Facebook group, or a paid Facebook group, or a school group, or a school community, whatever you want, you can give action based on people joining that, based on people leaving that, and when people opt in, you can also give them access. Okay, and then certificates issued. You can issue certificates from your courses, and then maybe when a certificate is issued, you can send somebody a congratulatory email. Okay, so these are just all of the things here that you can use to trigger other things happening inside of your marketing world. Okay, so let's and by the way, if you ever want to know what one of these are, oftentimes I forget that you can just scroll down here. But let's say the opportunity ones are down here someplace, but it has to do with opportunity. So you just come up here and you type in OPP, and it filters those out for you. Okay, so we're going to handle new opportunities. We're going to do two things. Number one is we're going to handle a new opportunity, and then we are also going to handle opportunity when it's dragged to a certain state. Okay, the first thing we're going to handle right here is opportunity created. Okay, we are going to, one of the first things I do, just so you give you my mindset, is I come up here and I change the name. I have caps lock on. We'll say new. We'll say speaking. New op created. Okay, op created. Okay, I tend to name things in kind of categories, so I go for more general and specific. And remember, I had several pipelines there. This is the speaking pipeline, so I want to make sure that this automation relates to the speaking pipeline, just kind of in my general organization. So one of the things I do right here is I will put the funnel name in there, and something else I will also do, I just remembered, is I will number these. Okay. Let's say I'll call this one 0, and I'll tell you why in a second, because I use number 1 for the first stage in the opportunity. Now, if I just did this and save this and save this, what would happen is this would get triggered for every single opportunity in every single pipeline. Okay, and we don't want that. And fortunately, HighLevel gives us the ability to filter these out. So I want to only focus on the speaking opportunities. So I'm going to go back in there, and down here on filters, I'm going to make sure that I focus on the pipeline, the speaking pipeline. So I can basically pick, I had several filtering options here. I'm going to pick the pipeline one, just want to make sure I'm going a little bit slower here. I want to go focus on the speaking pipeline one right here, okay? Speaking gigs right here, okay? And since this one is basically, the trigger on here is opportunity created, I really don't need any other filtering criteria. But I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to encourage you, and this is just very, very important, as you make changes, after every 1 or 2 or 3 changes, when you're working inside of a system like this, please make sure you click on the Save button in the upper right-hand corner. I've seen a lot of incidents recently where people went in and made changes, and they're like, the system didn't save my changes, and I'm like, no, you didn't, you didn't save often, or you swiped. That happens a lot in the Apple world, where we have like a trackpad, and we have a trackpad, and sometimes we'll accidentally, use 3 fingers, and we'll go back a browser, go back in the browser URL, and we'll lose all of our work. So save early, save often was something that was instilled in me early on in my IT career, and I encourage it to these days. It's going to save you a ton of headaches. It's just almost instinct for me now. Whenever I go in and I make a change, any of this stuff, I go to the upper right and I save it. Okay. And now, first of all, I want you to know that you can have multiple triggering events for any given marketing automation. But now you can kind of list out the things you want to do. And early on, when an opportunity is created, there's probably not too much that you want to do. I'm going to say, first of all, various people can create these. Let's say you have a business where you have multiple people that can put in opportunities. Okay, you have multiple VAs, you have VPs, you have multiple companies, staff members, admin assistants who can put in opportunities. First thing I want to do is I'm going to notify me, because as a business owner, I like knowing everything that's going on in my business. So I'm going to put an internal notification here. I'm going to send an email. I'm going to put in, it's going to come from the CRM. I really don't care about the email address, so I'm going to just put in a dummy email address. To user type, I'm going to put into a particular user. I'm going to pick myself. Speaking. New op created. Okay. And what I'm basically putting here is as a VA or someone who works for me creates new speaking gigs, I want to get notified of it. Okay. Now, oftentimes, what I try to do is I try to make my subject line unique for emails like this, because some email tools will kind of group the notifications if the subject line is the same for all of them. So oftentimes you'll see me do something like new op created for, and this again is only for internal notifications. News for, and I will put in the email address of the contact that was put in again for this particular person. I will put that there, so that way every email subject line ends up being unique. Okay, this is I was going to say this is a custom field. This is just a regular contact field, but you can put anything in there from the opportunity or from the contact. And then I will keep, since this is an internal email, I don't really worry about it being too formal. Oftentimes I will take that, I will put that down here, and then I'll put in some other information, name, phone, op name. Okay. This is, again, since this is an internal email, I'm just very informal about that. And then I can use the custom value here for full name, put the full name there. For the phone number, I can put in, if we have the phone number, that right there. In the opportunity, since this was an opportunity created, there has to be an opportunity name. So I will put in the opportunity name. Where we go here. Go back to the HighLevel here, no pun intended. Opportunity name right there. And something else I also wouldn't mind knowing if a VA is doing work for me. Let me see here. If a VA is doing work for me, is I wouldn't mind knowing the value. Okay, so I might put in the op value here. Okay, and we're going to go to custom values, opportunity lead value right there. Okay, I like for consistency, let's put lead value here. Okay, and so what this means is that whenever anybody inside the company creates a new gig for me in the speaking pipeline, that I will get notified about this. Okay, so I like doing that. Oh, please check fields for valid inputs. What did I do? Oh, okay, that's right. HighLevel does this thing where it tries to turn contact.email into a domain, into a link. Excuse me. So I'm going to go type that over again. I'm sure there's an easy solution for that Patrick's not doing. So when I click on save, that was a lot of work. What are we going to do? Upper right hand corner, save. And then oftentimes I'll put a note on the contact also, and there's a reason for that. Note. So new op created. Okay. Save, right? Actually, what I should have done there was publish, because it was only in draft mode, and then save. Now, this is a very basic automation here. And you'll notice one of the things I didn't do is I didn't even change the default names. I know that's going to rub some people wrong part of the time. But what I do later is when I'm first working on automation, I'm changing a lot of things, so I don't put like a label on here. Like what I'm referring to is when you add a note here, add note to contact would be a better thing here. But I often don't change the default labels unless I am, and once I get closer to this being done, then I'll come back and I'll clean that up and I'll change that. Now, why do I add notes here? Okay, for this is going to probably be for some of you more experienced people, but everyone should probably know this. So when you were working inside of a contact record, information about what's going on is happening all over the place, okay? You've got all this stuff down here on the lower left-hand side where you can see automations that people are in, past automations, opportunities, courses, tags. You've got all this, and then you've got all this middle information here, okay? And then you've got stuff over here on the right. So sometimes if I want to know the chronological history of what's going on with a contact, it's really hard to find. I'll give you an example. If I want to know when an opportunity was created and it was created a long time ago, I'm going to have to scroll way back here in the middle here and find that, okay? Or if I want to know when an opportunity moved to different stages, or if I want to know when something's purchased, I'm going to have to hop different places to find that. I like to keep notes here because over here in notes, every time I add a note, it has like a date timestamp on it. So you can see here, I probably have a trigger for contact created. That was created at 9:40, September 25th, so 4 days ago for this one. Normally, to see when the contact was created, I believe you have to go down to the lower right-hand corner or someplace else. Oh, wait, where is that? That's right down here at the bottom left, right? So contact created 9:40 a.m., okay? But in my workflows, I've gotten in the habit of putting notes, which appear over here in the notes section, so I can get a very good chronological history of when things are happening to the contact, okay? So that's why I put in notes there. And then what is this? Oh, let's go back to the automation. And of course, that's in my speaking opportunities folder right here. And then obviously I'm just notifying me when Patrick gets notified when anybody creates something in the speaking gigs right here, in the speaking pipeline right here, if you will, okay? And then what I tend to do is for any of the pipelines that I build for the people that hire us, is I go through and I create an automation for every step, for every stage, okay? And even if the stage isn't going to trigger anything, I still have the opportunity of notifying someone, doing some math if I need to do some math, or kicking off, like sending someone a contract, sending someone an invoice, things like that. When you get really cool here, we can do some advanced things. I'm going to pause here to look for some questions. Is when you have to actually send order forms and things like that. So, for example, the way I run my business is for our coaching program, we have a fixed price. For any kind of large hourly consulting block, which people come to us for, we have a fixed price, okay? I know that I know that the invoice or the order form is going to be the same every single time. So what I can do here is I can do something really cool, like let's say speaking gig for Ivy Slater. Let's say I always do $10,000 speaking gigs. I can actually drag this over here and send the contract automatically, and then the automation will move it over here, okay? And then once the person signs, the invoice can be sent automatically or the order form, okay? And then automation can move it to here. So what oftentimes you'll see if when you hire us to help you build out your sales team and stuff like this, you'll see the later stages of the sales process be run on autopilot, okay? Because it's all on the client, okay? If I send you a contract and I'm waiting for contract signing, I can remind you every day or every other day or every third day that, hey, Mr. Client, you haven't signed your contract, okay? This is the beauty of automation, is that you can set this up so it happens automatically, and you don't have to remember to wake up in the morning and remind someone to go sign their contracts. The system can do it for you. Okay, now I'm gonna hop over here into another area and look for some of the groups. Excuse me. Look for some of the questions here. Um, let's try to find a question that I know I can answer without getting too depth and building out too much. Um, okay, snapshots. That was a little bit more complicated. Getting the booking calendar set up and work how I want. Let me see. Quotes that aren't invoices. Easy way to create a calendar where someone can choose different services from a list. Each service to have a different time length and price. Ooh, goodness gracious, you guys threw me some complicated ones right here. Come on, multiple courses that you want to put on one order page. See, a lot of these questions I'm seeing asked here, I know that just cannot be, that some of these are just not technically possible inside the tool. Setting up multiple courses that you want to put on one order page. Um, Pinnacle AI, good dude. Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you. What's your name? I know your first name is not Pinnacle. Who is this? I don't remember what your first name is. Um, let's see if we can find someone here. Uh, um, Quotes that aren't invoices. Boy, I really opened this. I really opened. Okay, and you know what? Let's talk about getting booking calendar set up to work out the way I want. Hey, Charles, man, appreciate you. I know that name. I know the Charles name right there. Onboarding A2P. That's not an easy one to cover. Snapshots. Okay, let's talk about snapshots here for a little bit. So, and I can't do too much. You know what? I'm going to switch over here to me being on main camera mode because here's the deal with snapshots. Okay, not that I can't cover them, but I don't know how to cover them. Oh, excuse me, my allergies are kicking in. Is for me to do that, I would actually have to show my agency side of my business. But let's talk about snapshots for a little bit. Actually, I take that back. Let's hop back over here to the screen sharing. And of course, blatant plug if you are watching on YouTube or on Facebook. Multiple courses. Oh, how to create an offer. You know what? Thank you, Charles. I actually have a very strong opinion on that. Good point. Man, Charles, you are the man for helping me. Uh, Thank you. That's right. Okay. This is something at a high level that gets a lot of questions. People are coming from other platforms like the Kajabis of the world and things like that, and they always want to know how to start selling a course. And HighLevel gives you a really good way to start selling a course called offers. And offers are connected to courses. And offers can be bundles. Offers can have upsells. Offers can do various things, Charles. Um, I don't However, I don't use the offer feature a lot because I like consistency in my sales process. And other people may feel differently, but I like for my processes to be as similar as possible. So over here at HighLevel, where you have memberships, just so you know what I'm talking about, memberships, products, and offers, what you have is you have this concept of a product, which is a course, and you have an offer. And an offer is almost like the checkout page or the bundle. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Uh, is the bundle that is used to sell the product or courses. Okay, so you'll come in here and you'll create. We'll create a new one here. We'll create a build your own. We'll call this the new Pinnacle Pinnacle AI Badass course. Okay. And this is the very beginning. And this is where you basically fill in your course content. Okay. You've got categories of, yeah, definitely. It's definitely a controversial approach. And Robert's bringing that up right here. um, um, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna create your course here. You're gonna make sure it's published. You go make sure when you create your course, you go through every possible link and you click on every possible thing to look at all the things that are possible to customize. Okay, that would be my advice as you're creating your new courses. Make sure you've got your thumbnails in line. Make sure you've got all that stuff in line. And then the way the system is designed is they then want you to create offers here, okay? And an offer is a way to bundle or sell a course, okay? Not the way I prefer, not the way I'm going to talk about, but it is the way that that they often um, and that they often want to. This is the way the system was built, okay? And so what you would do is you come in here and you create an offer. Okay, offer title is going to be the Higgins Super Bundle. Okay, and you can pick, you can pick products here where I can kind of bundle all those together. Okay, in the interest of flexibility, what I tend to do, number one, is I tend to have one offer for one course. Okay, and then you do have to give it a price here, but I'm going to tell you right now, this price doesn't matter. So I'm going to say this is $1. Okay. I take that back. We'll make this $97. Okay. Create. So this is the offer, and then this is where you customize the offer right here. Okay. You can control your access here. You can do all these kind of cool things over here in the offer. But to me, you can do a lot of this stuff with automation. You can do a lot of this stuff with traditional funnels. And since usually I'm selling high ticket stuff, training, speaking gigs already with funnels, I like everything to be sold in a funnel. So I'm really glad again you brought this up because I do have a very strong opinion on this. So here, you can see here's the offer. Here are the courses in the offer. You can control the access state. You can have coupons. You can add your upsells right here. You can do all these really cool things right here. The way Patrick does it is I tend to create a very basic offer. Pro tip: if you haven't launched your course, man, you're just playing with me, aren't you? Are you saying there's some cool stuff coming at Level Up? Dude, I'm gonna see you. Are you gonna be down there? Robert, are you gonna be down there, man? I'll be down there. What is that, like 22 days? What did I say? 22 days, 23 days away. I'm driving from here right down to Dallas in like 21 or 22 days. But if you haven't launched your course yet and can wait until after Level Up, you may want to wait. Some big updates for customization coming. It's cool to hear, man. It's cool that you've got the inside track on that. So again, you have to. Where's the offer I just did? Where's the offer I just did? Is it right here in front of me and I missed it? Or is it in draft mode? Oh, it's in draft mode. Okay, there's in draft mode. Okay. You got to make sure you create unpublished once that's available, and you have to save that. Okay. Here's the way that HighLevel built this. Okay, and I think they built this to basically mirror the extended table. Of course, you will be, dude. Very cool. So here's the way that they built the system. And I really think they built this to mirror how access is given to other systems. Patrick on his soapbox will tell you I don't like to use the offer system because I like everything to be in funnels and to do everything with automation, because if I don't do it that way, what I have to remember is I have to do my courses and my upsells and all my work a certain way to sell a course, or if I'm doing a community or a regular funnel, I have to do it a different way. And I don't like trying to have to manage two separate checkout systems, okay? And that's really what the offer system is. And if anybody from HighLevel is watching, this is definitely not disparaging or dissing HighLevel. And Charles, chime in here what you think about this. I like consistency in my sales processes. Okay, so what I tend to do is I tend to focus back over here on funnels to sell everything, to sell my courses, to sell my communities, to sell my consulting, to sell my coaching, to sell my speaking gigs. I like everything to be in funnels. So for every course, I've got to set up the product over in courses. I've got to set up the offer. Okay, that's just something you have to do to give somebody access. Okay, just part of the game we have to do. Hopefully someday you won't have to do it, in my opinion. Hopefully someday you'll just be able to create a course and then come over here and do this. But then what I'd like to do is I would create a new funnel here, and I would call it the Higgins Higgins super funnel, not supper funnel. Supper funnel, we're selling meat and potatoes, right? Higgins super funnel. And then I'm going to skip all the formality of creating a funnel. I'm going to jump right to the order form. Okay. Um, we're going to call this the Higgins order page. So you're going to have to create a way to sell, to sell the particular course. And I'm just going to whip out, something that just kind of comes second nature to me now. And order form. Okay, we only use offers for our training courses for our clients. The reason being is that we tend to swap out old courses for new courses. Okay, so as Charles brings up, there's a place and a time for it. I have yet to find a strong case for me to use the offer, but I mean, what Charles says right here from Pinnacle AI, that may be a good case for you to do that. Patrick just tends to do it this way. So where's my order form? We're going to go with the one-step order form. And again, save early, save often. I will update the SEO metadata later. And I will hop back out. I should have done this before. For those of you that are saying, hey, Patrick, you should have done something different the way before. Kyle here. Kyle up in Oregon, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, dude. This was completely spontaneous. I'll be doing mine. For those of you that don't know, by the way, I do a regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. live. Hit subscribe on YouTube. To watch that, this one is spontaneous. And I tend to do some high-level stuff on Sundays, mainly when I'm waiting for the family to wake up. So over here in products, I should be able to add the product that, and this isn't technically the product, okay? This is the offer, okay? And the offer it would be the product, okay? Sorry, I'm thinking of all the high-level terms. HighLevel calls courses products in some area. And if you are from HighLevel, so help me, would you please change that so I don't pull out? This is why I have no hair, okay? Is because HighLevel calls courses products. And then over in payments, they also call products, okay? I used to have a big giant afro, pulled it all out because they use the term products in different places to mean different things, okay? So when I was creating the offer, it created a literal payment product. It was the $99 product right here, okay? I'm going to save that to add that. For those of you that are just getting into order forms, upsells, order bumps, things like that, if you are going to want to give people multiple options to sell, or if you're going to have order bumps on your funnel, make sure you add everything you might possibly sell on a page here. You're going to have 2 order bumps. You have to add all the order bumps here, and excuse me, you have to add all the order bumps here. You're going to basically give people radio buttons to pick different products. You have to add all the products here. You want to give people a checkbox so they can check 1 to however many products they want to buy. You have to put in all the products here on the product tab on the order page, okay? And so let's hop back to the page over here. Let's preview it to see how it's looking. Okay, there's the Higgins bundle right there. Okay, so this is a traditional funnel where somebody could order this. I would probably clean this up a little bit. I'd probably take off the shipping stuff. I take off the coupon code. If I don't have a coupon, I tend to take that off psychologically. I believe if people see a coupon code box, they start hunting for coupons. So I tend to take that off, and I do the minimum amount of information to HighLevel, converting from Kajabi to HighLevel. Cool, dude. Cool, very cool. Let's get that up there. Everyone needs to see that. Another guy converted from Kajabi to HighLevel right there. Kyle Sexton up in Oregon there, up by where my mom is, up in the Seattle area. It's not too terribly long of a drive. I've made that before. So okay, so and that's what I was saying is I would customize, and I would make this very minimalistic. The more boxes, psychologically also, the more boxes people have to fill out, the more apprehensive they're going to be. When I come to an order form like this, and I see, for example, I have to fill out shipping information for a digital product, I just sigh and I go, oh, please. And I'll have some slight hesitation. So on your order forms, try to make them as simple as possible. And then for me, I'd probably have information on the left-hand side here that, my regular sales copy information. Okay, so the preview doesn't look terribly bad. And so then I would, and then you obviously have to, when it's time for this to go live, you have to connect this to a domain. I've got a domain here, and then ignore that, and then save that. And then now I could actually pull this up on a live domain. If you use Google Tag Manager, by the way, please make sure that you get your Google Tag Manager information in the heading and the body tracking code right here. What is going on here? Oh, if you're going to use, I tend to keep chat widgets off of my funnel because it's a distraction to selling, but that's just, again, personal preference. And then also for Facebook events, please make sure for your funnels, you come over here to events and you add in your pixel ID and your access token right here, which you can get from over on Facebook on the pixel page. The pixel ID is usually in the upper right hand corner of the pixel, and then on the settings page for the pixel you can get the access token. I have a whole separate YouTube video on how to get this information on here. You have options on here that I think are going to expand later. At some point in time, I believe you're going to be able to, well, you can't obviously pick individual events for individual pages. What I do these days is I just focus at the funnel level and I send a on-page view. If you notice right now, the checkbox is the only option. Did they change that at all? Yeah, so on-page view is the only option you have right there. At some point in time, we're going to have on purchase, on lead to do it at the page level here. So make sure you get your Facebook pixel stuff in there. Let's run through some of these other things real quick. Stats, straight up stolen from ClickFunnels. Let's not even lie about that, but it's still very cool. Sales, security, most people don't even have to use, and settings. Something else I'm going to talk about briefly that people find a little bit confusing is the URL, the path URL. I used to find this very confusing back in the ClickFunnels days, and I finally, AI SEO coming soon. Winky, winky. Look at Charles teasing us over here. Charles is just making me more and more anxious to drive down to Dallas. The path, okay, the link. Sometimes people get a little bit confused about the link to get to a sales page or the link to get to an order form, okay? And again, this is something I promise I struggled with, and then I thought about it. Oh, okay, this makes perfect sense. To give someone a link to your funnel, oftentimes there are 3 possible links you can give them, okay? And here's the difference. This right here is the path to the funnel, okay? So over in settings, this will always send someone to whatever the very first step of the funnel is, okay? Now, coming back to these steps here, this right here, this right here, this link right here, and these should be different, right? Order page, super funnel, yeah. This link right here is the link to this step, not this page, this step, okay? There's a difference, okay? And Charles probably knows where I'm going. This is a link to this step, not to this page, okay? And then, since we can A/B test funnels, there is another URL setting right down here at the page level, okay? So what this means is I can come down here. Let's say this is V1 of my page, okay? And let's say I'm going to A/B test this, okay? Where's here, create variation. So I'm gonna duplicate my control. Your control is always your original. I'm gonna duplicate my control. Yeah, same. And I see people confused all the time on this one, and I finally got it. More than one page already exists. Oh, okay, did I not get it? Okay, so cool. So usual, as usual, you're gonna do 50%. I'm curious, Charles, do you ever do not 50%? Apply here, apply the changes. Okay, so now think about this. Again, we've got the funnel, the overall funnel here, URL. We've got the step URL, which didn't change, right? The step URL didn't change. But guess what? We can now, down the settings for the individual variations of the page, there's a setting. So that one's V1. I'd probably come over here and name this one V2. That'll help me in some of my external analytics, programs, knowing which one was V1, which one was V2. Okay, so so if you ever get confused about that, remember that. Okay, there is the funnel URL. Okay, there is the funnel step URL, and there's the funnel page URL, and the three of them can be completely different. And you might need the three of them in different times, different locations. So I'm trying to move my mouse around here and get to the right page here. Um, and thank you. I'm seeing a lot of people coming in. So again, I like to make sure when I'm working on a funnel that I run through every single step, make sure everything is set up. One of the cool things I did like converting from seeing people convert from ClickFunnels is the ability to reset my statistics here, because oftentimes you'll be you'll be running through all kinds of test traffic, all kinds of stuff, and you'll see your test stuff here, and then you can click on reset here, and then it resets all this stuff. It should reset all this stuff to 0, which is really cool here. But getting back to where we started with this, because I'm taking the long road here, and I see I've got plenty of people watching, which is really cool. This is the way I prefer to sell my courses, okay, is I prefer to do it in a funnel, because I use funnels to sell everything else. And then what I do is I come over here to automations, create a new workflow, start from scratch, because Patrick just is a masochist and likes to do everything from scratch. And grant access to Higgins course. Higgins, wasn't that the butler's name? And like, was that Magnum PI? Wasn't that the butler's name in Magnum PI? Come to think of it, adding trigger. So again, my triggering event here is somebody placed that order, right? So order submitted. And we obviously have to filter out which order is submitted. It's going to be the product is the Higgins Super Bundle product that I created, right? Save early, save often, upper right-hand corner. And Magnum PI, thank you, Magnum PI with the helicopter guy. Very cool. And then this is where I grant access to the course, okay? So for those of you that are just kind of tuning in later, what I'm doing is I'm talking about the difference, Doc Higgins, thank you. I'm talking about the difference between using the HighLevel built-in offer/courses functionality and and selling the stuff through a traditional funnel. Okay, this is the way I prefer to do it, because again, and I just keep repeating myself because I have no idea, people are coming and going on the live stream here. I prefer to do it here because this is where I sell everything, okay? So if you're somebody who, over here in memberships, courses, and offers, if you're someone who uses this particular offer, I'm not going to disparage you at all, okay? Go ahead and make your offers here. However, in my opinion, and feel free to chime in here, I don't think you get the flexibility you get over in a regular funnel, okay? Not to mention, my skills are really good over here on the page building side of HighLevel, so I prefer to focus on that over here. I mean, you do get an upsell here, but you know what? You don't get, I don't believe you get okay, you get a one-click upsell, which I consider, yeah, a one-click upsell or in-app upsell. Those are kind of cool. The in-app upsells, that one I'm not familiar with. I hadn't seen that one before. But again, I prefer to do all that stuff over here in my funnels. You know, where's the Higgins Super Funnel? I prefer to do, if I'm going to have an order bump, let's go ahead and add order bump here. Has anyone here not done an order bump? I'm going to give a quick example of that. Let's just do an order bump here. Let's say we're going to do Patrick course for my order bump. Make that the bump product right there. I'm going to pause here for a second and say, and I'm curious about those opinions on this. I believe 100% you should have order bumps and upsells in just about every single funnel, okay? You giving people the opportunity to get more from you at a discounted price, and you're going to increase your average cart value, okay? So one of the things when people come to me and we're building their funnels for their courses and for the different training things, yeah, Charles is right here. This is how we traditionally set things up. We build the course, build the offer, build the funnel, and then grant access to the workflow. Allows more. Thank you. Okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, thank you. We're going to give Robert. Let's see. What do you want, Robert? Do you want fireworks? It's Charles. Why do I keep saying Robert? Do you want fireworks? Do you want a big thumbs up, or do you want balloons? Pick one. Okay, pick one. First of all, he and I agree on this. Okay, but could someone help me figure out what we're going to award him? Are we going to award him fireworks? Are we going to award him a thumbs up? Or are we going to award him balloons? Okay, he gets one of those three. But he and I are in agreement on this. That this is the traditional way we sell things. But kind of going on a rant here. I always like to make sure that unless it's a really odd exception, that there's fireworks. Let's get this man some fireworks right here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Well, I guess the fireworks are technically behind me. Um, but I always like to make sure that my funnels always have order bumps and always have upsells, okay? An order bump is just a product that you add right here at the funnel level. I'm going to go back to overview and edit, okay? And this would be an interesting A/B test for you: is create one page with an order bump, one page without an order bump, and see if one converts more. Okay, always be testing. Always be testing. ABT. If I could preach one of 100 things when it comes to building funnels, it would say always come up with ways to test things to make them convert better. But when you have your order form and you put a bump product over there, you can come down over here to first of all, we're going to disable those coupon codes, right? Enable the order bump. For the bump product, we're going to pick the product that I said is the bump product over there, and then you're going to do all the cool stuff. Cool headline, cool OTO headline, cool order bump description. Of course, you can have a image URL there. We're going to save that. You can have multiple order bumps also. So let's just save that real quick and see how we are looking. Let's see. It'll save that again. See how we're looking. How's our order bump looking? Okay, cool. And obviously, in my opinion, you would put the order bump price in there someplace. I'll click on that. It'll add our order bump. So our order bump was $5. Okay. You know what? Is there ever a reason to not have an order bump? Someone let me know in the comments. Is there ever a reason to not have an order bump on any kind of digital sale? Typically what this is good for is this is good for selling something that you sell elsewhere in your world, but sell it at a slight discount. So, but they only get it because they're buying the first thing. Okay, so if you're selling something for $97 and your normal and this product, this Patrick Course 2024-0804, normally if that's $6 or $7 on your website, sell it here in the funnel for $5. Okay, it's no harm. It's they can choose not to pick it. As a matter of fact, it's unchecked by default. But give them a discount here and only give them the discount here. Okay. I tend to use this. Keith, my man, what took you so long, Keith? I thought you would have been here like day one, man. Minute one. Keith's always on the ball. Keith's online all the time, like I am. So I don't ever see a reason to not have an order bump and at least one upsell. Okay. And so that's where you do the order bumps, is that right there. Going to publish the changes right here. And let's go back to, you're not a fan of the flashing arrow. Oh, was that what was on the, Keith, you haven't come up with a way, man, to put CSS in here to get rid of the flashing arrow yet? Yeah, it's annoying, but it probably works. So that's where you do your order bumps. And then that's what I thought. You can move it with CSS. As a matter of fact, if someone gives me the CSS in the chat here, I'll add it and we'll test it out. And then you do your upsells. Upsell one right here. Sorry if you heard me coughing up the coffee here. Sunday morning. Yeah, dude. Hey, I was bored. What can I say? Upsells, going to create a blank from here. And just so you know the difference, on an order bump, if somebody buys it, it's just the one checkbox, and that transaction will show as a single transaction over in Stripe or whatever in your merchant account, okay? Upsells, they show as separate transactions, okay? The nice part about an upsell is that you get some more options to more option. You get basically an entire page where with the upsell you just get like a little yellow box down there. So if you require more convincing, or if you have a product that you traditionally sell with a traditional sales page, you can just like replicate that sales page and make it an order bump over here. That may be a reason to do it. There's just various reasons to make something an order bump versus something an upsell. Okay, just different options right there. I'm going to create from blank here. And traditionally what I do is when I build my funnels is I work on the function first, and then I work on the form later. So oftentimes for an upsell, and by the way, if you see me doing things in the not most efficient order, please feel free to correct me. I'm winging this from your guys' comments right here. So I always know there's a thing I can do better. For example, the first thing I just thought of is Patrick, right back in the beginning, when you were building the page, you forgot to add the upsell product. So there's my upsell page. Click on products right here. Add product. Monthly, we'll say, Phil, we'll do this one right here. Price, we're going to pick the $1 price for this ChatGPT prompts course. Save that. So again, this is going to be the upsell product on the upsell page that they get when they click yes, they want it. This is not necessarily, this product is not going to show up on the page, on the upsell page anyplace. It's going to be up to you to totally define how this upsell page looks. What you're going to have the option to do though is just have like a yes or no button on the upsell page. Okay, so click on overview here, getting back to where we can edit the page. And again, Patrick tends to do more function over form over function. Function over form. I test that the funnel works usually before I worry about how pretty it looks. Okay, so if I want to test my upsell, I might say, "Where's my button? Where's my button?" My buttons are always at the top, Patrick. Don't scroll too fast. Okay, got a button here. Clone that button. Put a button here. Yes, I want the Keith special. Okay, because this is going to be the Keith upsell. We've got the Higgins base product and the Keith upsell right there, okay? So green is always in the positive, right? And maybe this is more of like an orange or a red, maybe a red. And this is, you know I don't want this, okay? So basically after the first step of an order form, not first step, after the order basically is complete, because that's what happens on that first one, is the order is completed and that first transaction has hit your merchant account, you can now apply successive transactions to this. But the cool part about the upsells is it has the credit card information from the first one, so they don't have to put in the credit card information again. Okay, going to click on save here, and then this is one of the things that's I've seen a lot of newbie questions when it comes to, okay, how do you trigger the upsell? Form over function is, thank you, Keith. This is just where you pick the buttons. Okay, you pick the buttons in the function, what they do. So down here for the green button, what I want to do is I want to pick the button action down here, which is going to be one-click upsell. Okay, I'm going to pick the product, which is the ChatGPT product, and then what happens? Go to the next step. So you tie the button to the upsell product down here, and then let's say you have the negative button here. The negative button is usually just go to next step, okay? Oftentimes I'll see people hard code, like pick a particular step or pick a particular URL down here. Please always try to pick next step, and the reason for that is because you may have multiple upsells, okay? Let's add another section here. I use the phrase form over function derogatory. Looks pretty but doesn't do what it should. Huh. I've been called that before when I was younger as a person. Form over function. This may be your cool headline, one column. For those of you from the Ginsu Knive area. But wait, there is more. So, your upsell page will have that psychology right there. Publish. And let's get back over here. I'm going to cover another topic I've often seen some challenges with. Oftentimes, people want to, let's say, let's say your last step is always going to be some kind of confirmation page, right? Order confirmation. I've seen people before that want to trigger what happens after an order based on the order confirmation page view. Because HighLevel allows you to do that. HighLevel allows you to trigger actions based on page views, okay? However, I would use that as a last resort, because the way I've learned that the funnels work and the way that people work is sometimes they may never make it to this order confirmation page, and you have to assume that also if there's an important message you want to get to them and you're going to put it on the order confirmation page. Let's say the order confirmation page has a button that says click here to join my Facebook group. Or something like that, okay? You always have to assume that they're not going to get there, because when you have multiple steps on a funnel like this, if they're going through, the order page, let's just add, let's add the sales page in here also. Sales page. Let's add that in there also, so we have a complete looking funnel. Move that up to the top there. Sales page, okay? You have to assume that somebody may or may not get to the upsell page, or may or may not get to the order confirmation page. So do not base any kind of next actions on somebody viewing the order page, okay? In my opinion, you always want to base the next actions on what they took with the product, okay? What action they took with buying the product right there. So if upsell 1 is going to grant access to a different course, do not base somebody could come to, here's my point. Somebody could come to this upsell 1 page right here and view this and just stop and walk away, okay? They may never make it to the order confirmation page, okay? So don't base anything on somebody viewing the order confirmation page and assume that they will not view the order confirmation page, okay? Because somebody, so over here in automation, we have the Higgins one, right? Where is that? I did here, grant access to Higgins course. So we know this is going to get fired off when they buy main section. Okay, I'll try that here in a second. To remove that arrow. So here, this is going to be based on the main product sale right here, but then we also make sure we have to make sure you're going to have for the upsell is going to need its automation also. So let's try the CSS here real quick. Blinking arrow, main section, div, image display, none. Okay, let's try that real quick. Hey, I love doing live stuff because we will all learn together here. Where was that funnel? That funnel is going to be up here in sites and the funnels and the Higgins super funnel or the supper funnel, depending what you want to call it. And let me see, I'm going to put that at the page level, right? And I am assuming I'm going to put that, I'm going to put that in the page, excuse me. Sorry, I'm just bopping around here like a fool. So hop around to the page. We're going to remove that red arrow. Let's see if Mr. Higgins is, let's see if Mr. Higgins' CSS skills are, where are we looking for? We are looking for custom CSS right here. Okay, and we are grabbing, we're grabbing this right here from the comment. You know what? I'm not going to trust the copy and paste. We're going to, someone keep an eye on me here, make sure I'm doing this right. Section, section, I already got it right. A main section, div, image. I always do my brackets in pairs so I don't screw that up. Display, colon, none. That's for one step, one order form. Thank you, sir. Did I get that right there? Main section. Where does it go? Okay, main dash section div image. So that basically means for this div, for this image tag in this div in this section, display none. Let's save that. publish that. Let's see if I got that right. I'm never going to claim to be a CSS expert, so I'm glad I have people here that are smarter than me. Save that. Oh, I hate that. I hate that when you do a publish and the publish works and the publish doesn't save. That's really kind of annoying, HighLevel. Doing the eyeball here. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Mr. Higgins from Pinnacle AI. Did I say that enough times? Mr. Higgins from Pinnacle AI gave us the CSS code right there to remove that red flashing arrow. So if you're watching and wondering how I did that, look in the comments right there. Okay. And again, just for those of you that missed how that's done, is over here in the custom CSS box. You can put in all kinds of cool CSS code. And again, it's the image. You're basically controlling the image tag inside of a div inside that section right there. So thank you. Very cool. I did not expect that to work the first time based on my own skills, not on yours, sir. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was wondering, Keith. Also, as I'm over here with Ecamm, and I tried to copy that over, and that wasn't working. That definitely wasn't working there either. So save that again. Let's try this again. If I click on publish, it's actually going to save it because publish does not always do the save thing. That was really kind of frustrating. Okay, but there you go, everyone. You learned today. If you want to get rid of that red arrow, Mr. Higgins from Pinnacle AI gave us the CSS code from that right there. Something else I would do on this personally to clean it up. If I don't need the company name, I'll get rid of it. I like to keep on validation stuff. Phone number, country picker, show shipping. I might get rid of the shipping if I really don't need it. I just like to get this down to the very minimal amount of information. Oftentimes I do not want on cart mode. Postal code and country, I like that because I oftentimes think that helps with credit card validation. Let me see what else here do I normally would not have on. Country picker, show phone number, completely up to you. Shipping, you obviously have to change that to be, your info or something else. If it's not a shipped product. By the way, another kind of cool funnel trick I like, if you will, is let's say that you offer somebody order bumps and upsells and they don't take them, okay? There is a chance for you to recover these. And it just depends on how complicated and how fancy you want to get with your funnels. Usually the process of order bumps and upsells is a lot of work up front, but then all you have to do is worry about driving traffic to it and letting human nature take over. So, you can sometimes do, if somebody doesn't buy, let's say if you want to do something really cool, like push people to buy the upsell even after they've left the entire funnel. So, order page, let's see, what am I thinking of right here? Okay, let's say somebody has bought, so grant access to Higgins course. Okay, that's the one that's actually going to grant access to the Higgins course. But let's say I want to give somebody some other chances to possibly buy that upsell. What you can do here is ignore that, create another automation here, start from scratch because I'm a masochist. And here we're gonna give someone a second chance at the upsell. Okay, and this is going to be based again on they ordered the main product, right? So they ordered the main product here. Main product is what was it? The Higgins Silver Bundle. Okay, so we know they order this, and if they order this, we want to give them a chance to buy that second product, buy that upsell again later. Okay, so then what I might do is I might wait. Okay, I'll wait because if someone's making their way through the funnel, they should have had a chance to buy the upsell. Okay, I may wait. I don't know. What do you think? 30 minutes? I may wait 30 minutes, and then I may see if they bought. My allergies are getting a kick in my butt. I will wait to see if they then have bought the product, and I'm just kind of curious for my buddies who are watching which route you would go with this. But here's where you can get kind of fancy and think, did they buy the second product? And if not, can I offer it to them a second time? So I may come down here to an if statement, okay? And I may, let's say, we'll go with the tag, okay? We'll go with the tag, assuming that they get tagged when they bought the other product, okay? Yes. I love automations. I could play with this stuff all day long. Did they buy the upsell? Okay. So if they bought the upsell, they would have bought it, pretty fast. Tag includes, and this is where yeah. Let's say there's a tag, and we're gonna just pick a random tag here, okay? But what I guess what I'm saying is over in the upsell automation, you apply the tag. Can I? Okay, I can't create tags from here. Okay, but let's say over in upsell there was an upsell called 20 free leads. Okay, this by the way is a whole cool program offered by the guys over at HighLevel. That's their snapshot I imported here. But let's say that the upsell applies a tag called 20 free leads. Okay, then I could do here with my if, and I can basically say if they didn't buy the upsell, I can then take some action, okay? And you're obviously going to do this as a limited time because we really want to increase our average cart value, okay? So let's save this here. And did they buy the upsell? Yes, no. Okay, make sure I got this right. Yes, they did. Okay, so in this particular case, if they didn't buy the upsell, if they did, cool, no problem. We're going to stop there. Okay. Again, save early, save often, especially my Mac friends with trackpads, swiping the other way, losing hours and hours worth of work right there. If they didn't buy the upsell, okay, now what can we do? Well, we can shoot them an email. Okay. I'm gonna put in just some dummy information here. In I tend to, again, the way I tend to do stuff is I tend to kind of sketch stuff out here, and whoops, look at that, I almost screwed up by swiping. I tend to just kind of sketch out stuff here. Take the Keith upsell. That's an easy upsell. That's a no-brainer upsell. If you're gonna get a little bit more aggressive, your SMS may be, hey, you didn't. Are you sure you don't want the awesome Keith upsell? Link, put your link here to get back to that. Yeah. Well, Mac people are automatically cooler. So, but the downside is that Mac trackpad. I almost said that wrong. Mac trackpad, MacPad. And then you can go to the whole psychology here of, oh, this is something cool. I love this. I love the fact that the HighLevel builder works with the Mac trackpad. Okay, I just love that. I can just move stuff around and zoom in and out on stuff. Okay, so there. I guess my whole point here is if depending on how creative you want to get with pushing upsells and increasing your average cart value, you can come here and you can actually recover that later. This isn't really count as an abandoned checkout, but you're building your own abandoned checkout for your upsells and for your order bot process. So if you want to sell more of your other courses, that's one way to do it right there. I'm going to hop over here, back over to Facebook, and see if I can cover some of the other questions. Over here also, again, some of these were just a bit more complicated. We can talk about snapshots. We can talk about snapshots for a second because there were a lot of questions there about snapshots and how to get snapshots in and over stuff. Okay, so all a snapshot is, and you can see I have some snapshot stuff here. All a snapshot is just taking a picture of a whatchamacallit, of a sub account, okay? And I'm not going to jump over to the agency side because again, I've got I've got proprietary stuff. Not proprietary stuff. I've got just business stuff in there that I just don't necessarily feel like sharing with people. Whoops, we're not doing that. We're going to this one right here. Mr. Stream Deck. We gotta keep Mr. Stream Deck happy. But for those of you that have questions about snapshots, please drop them here, and I will answer them the best I can. I need to ask HighLevel for like a test agency account, so I can do stuff like this without opening my kimono and sharing that information right there. But for those of you that are wanting to use snapshots more and understand how snapshots work, here is the basic part of it, and please ask the questions below. All a snapshot is taking literally a snapshot of a business like this, storing a copy of it, and then on the agency side, you can then push that into other businesses or push that into other sub accounts. And the really cool part about HighLevel is that you can attach that snapshot to a HighLevel a plan over in your SaaS configurator. So when someone buys something from you, they automatically get all of that stuff. Okay, a lot of it's inactive, a lot of it has to be customized. But this is where I see the real power of HighLevel is the ability to, number one, is to put a lot of your settings over here inside under settings and custom values. So this is if you really want to scale your agency account. Morgan Dunnigan, girlfriend, is it still done again? It's not going to be done again for very much longer, is it? This is my amazing teacher buddies down in Texas. Get a demo, create a free marketplace. Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you, dude. Get a free. No, I don't need a demo instance. I need like a demo agency account. Can I get a demo agency account? That's what I need is like an agency account so I can hop around and show sub account disbursement and things like that. But if you really want to, if you really want to build an agency and make your business more cookie cutter, which is what HighLevel is built for all of us, is number one, is try to put all of your settings and a lot of your wording over here when it comes to like either business name. I mean, obviously you, okay, cool. Thank you. I did not know that. Obviously, when you're setting up a business, all this stuff is going to be variabilized right here. So you can use that on pages and things like that. But there are other things like industry name, short business name, long business name that you're going to put here in custom values. So to me, the real power of HighLevel, and it's taken me a long time to learn this. I was not born a HighLevel expert, and every single day I am learning. I need to become more and more of a HighLevel expert. But what the real power in running a branded niche agency is the ability to scale and the ability to make your stuff very flexible for multiple businesses. And the only way you can do that is variabilizing a lot of your business. So two really things, if you want to scale your agency, that you need to do is number one, variabilize a lot of your business. So in other words, store information into variables that can easily be changed, okay? And this is going to improve your onboarding processes also, okay? So number one, you're going to, excuse me, I hate to sniff on camera, but I'm very congested. Number one, you're going to, obviously over in the agency side, you're going to use SaaS configurator, creating your agency plans, okay? Is this, oh, you know what? I just realized my cool lights in the background aren't working. What is Patrick without his cool lights? Let's get the cool lights turned on, right? Over here. Here we go. Get the cool lights. Let's get the cool lights going. I just realized this room is very, very dark. And I don't like that. What was I saying? Oh, you're going to create your plans in SaaS configurator. You're going to have certain sub accounts, and you're going to see some here in mine. You're going to have certain sub accounts that are directly for certain industries. So I have one here called speaker that I'm working on because I work a lot with a lot of paid public speakers, and I'm in the process of building this out to where it can be reused for a lot of different speakers. So what you're going to see me do is these are areas where speakers have end up doing a lot of things. They end up doing virtual events, on-site events, courses, SMS marketing. And then over here in settings, what you're going to start to see me do with this snapshot, this is a brand new one, by the way, I've just been working on, is I'm going to put a lot of information in variables, okay? And then what you can do is you can use those variables in pages. So then, and hopefully this is making sense. I'm getting a little bit confused for those of you that are asking snapshot questions, or if I'm getting a little bit confusing, let me know. Let's fix this a little bit here. Let's get that a little bit ready for Monday morning. is you have then you give people the ability to buy on an order form to buy your sub accounts, and then they get the snapshot with the sub account. So what I'm going to eventually have is I'm going to have an order form for a speaker to come here and buy stuff, and when the speaker buys it, they will not only get the CRM sub account, they will get a bunch of workflows and pages and landing pages and websites. They will get all that in there, and then when they pull it up, well, part of the onboarding will be you have to go to your custom values. You have to fill in your speaker, your speaker name, your industry, whatever. But once they go through, most of the onboarding should be down here in custom values. Okay, the onboarding is down here in custom values. Of course, they have to do the work to get their calendar set up, to get the email service, to get the phone number set up. But done right, an onboarding should really be go step one, customize your custom values, get your email set up, get your phone number set up, uh, and then obviously you have to turn on your automations, okay? But that's really what you want your onboarding to be as simple as possible. That's really what it should be. That should be the majority of the work when it comes to onboarding somebody who has bought a plan from you or has bought a snapshot from you is email. When I say email setup, phone number setup, custom value setup, not custom field setup. They really shouldn't have to mess with that, and then coming and enabling workflows. Because someone correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that when you get a snapshot, that the workflows, if someone dumps a snapshot in there, that workflows are enabled. Are they? I don't think they are. I thought all workflows were disabled when they come in from a snapshot, but I could be wrong there. There's a lot of information inside of HighLevel. But so this morning when I was working on what to say here, I had some people who were really interested in how the snapshot process works. And what I will do is I may do another video. I can't guarantee it'll be next Sunday. I may do another video that shows that whole process, but it really is simple and not too difficult to do once you get it set up. I'm trying to think of what else is complicated. Let me go back over here and look at the list of questions that people were shooting my way. Uh, Let me see here. Let me come over here. Come over here. They are in the same instance that the snapshot is saved as. Okay, so if they were enabled by instance, I think you mean status, right? Um, um, so if they were enabled or disabled, whatever they were when the snapshot was grabbed from the sub account, yeah, okay, it was status you were talking about right here. So here we go. So thank you, sir, from Mr. Pinnacle AI right here. Setting up multiple courses that you want to put on one order page, and then only send one email to access them. Okay. So thank you. Yeah, exactly. Okay, status. Okay, thank you. I wasn't entirely sure about that. A calendar where someone can choose different services from the list. Each service will have a different time, length, and price. Some of these questions here I'm going to have to basically figure out offline to make sure I can answer them fast on their so I can answer them fast when I'm going live here. So what was this question? Also, what confuses me is how to have a snapshot like my SMS bot with funnel in a holding test sub account and then push it, clone it, and transfer it to get it into your new client's sub account fully intact. Okay, this is from Robert Whitfield. Robert, are you watching, man? Let me know if you're watching. Okay, Robert, the way you do it is you are grabbing the snapshot from over in the agency area, which you know what, let me go look at my agency area and see if I can open that kimono without exposing my information. Bear with me. I'm opening up HighLevel, a different tab over here. So what you have over here is excuse me. Okay, so Robert, what you have over here is, I think what I need to do is I should grab in particular pages here. So what you're going to do here is you are going to give me a new browser tab right here. To first create your snapshot, what you're going to do here, you know what? Why doesn't Patrick share his screen? Wouldn't that be helpful? Somebody was going to call me on that eventually, right? So what you're going to do to create your initial snapshot is this one right here, okay? So this one right here, this is kind of cool. Okay, this is a very good example. So here's my speaker, PM snapshot speaker, okay? Over here, this is something I grabbed August 27th. So you can tell I was working a lot on this on August 27th. So after I created this initial one, August 27th, then I went over here and I created a snapshot for it, okay? And then I can do stuff like create a new account based on the snapshot, refresh it, or push update to linked locations, okay? So then what I would probably do is I might come over here and let's say I need, let's see, I'm going to create a cool new workflow from scratch here. Excuse me, a workflow from scratch. Cool new workflow. And for this to save properly, we have to have at least one trigger and one action. New contact created. Save early, save often, save. And then what Mr. Higgins was saying is whatever state this is in the original snapshot. And the original sub account is how it will be in the snapshot, which is how it'll be when it's deployed to the new account. Okay. So back to workflows here. So I've created new. So here's the instance. Okay, I have a sub account where this is already active. Okay. I then want to put updates. I then want to push updates to that sub account and to everybody else who has this snapshot. So let's say this is a snapshot that I sell, okay? And I tell people they're going to get regular weekly or monthly updates as I add cool new stuff to it. And here I am on a Sunday adding a cool new workflow, and now I want to push this to everybody that has this snapshot. So what you have to do is come over to the snapshot area at your agency level. And number one, you have to refresh this. So you have to refresh the snapshot, which is going to grab the changes from the account that it's based on. This is based on the sub account PM snapshot speaker right here. So I'm going to grab the changes like that and click on refresh. And Mr. Spinny Circle is going to do its thing. And by the way, if I'm doing something wrong or I click on something wrong, please feel free to let me know here. So after it's going to do this, then I'm going to have the option of pushing that out or creating a new account based on that right there. So that's running. Let's see how we do it on coffee. Coffee is definitely gone cold. Oh, yeah, it's not cold yet. It's probably like room temperature. And let me see. Let's refresh this and see if this is done yet. Okay, so snapshot, snapshot. Oh, cool. All kinds of. Oh, yeah. Well, I already did that stuff. All kinds of stuff right there. But so cool. So it's already pulled in the last update information right there. And so then what I can do is once that Mr. Circle is done spinning right there, is I can then push that out to a new sub account or to any other sub accounts that already have that. And so what you may do is if you have a really popular snapshot that you've sold to people, and you want to update them every month, or maybe they ask you for like a paid update kind of thing, you're going to come to the original sub account over here, where the snapshot's going to be based upon, and then you're going to push it out using this. So what that means is you're going to have sub accounts here. Make sure you have master account for the snapshot and the test account. Let's push left. Okay, you bring up a very good point. Thank you. Let's see what he says here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, so Charles is saying, excuse me, if you are doing a regular push updates to a snapshot, make sure you have your master account for the snapshot, which is, for me, this is this master account right here for the snapshot, PM snapshot / speaker. You can see up here in the upper left-hand corner. And what he's saying is make sure you have a test sub account that you can push this to before you push it to your live sub accounts so you can verify how it's going to work. Quick sidebar. People, in my opinion, in HighLevel, don't use test sub accounts enough, okay? And this applies specifically to those of you who have agency sub accounts, okay? You can create and delete test sub accounts all day long. I've got a test sub account that I have a bookmark for on my Chrome toolbar that I can jump into at any point in time. And what again, this is what Charles is saying here. Don't ever rely on HighLevel's native conflict checking right here. Thank you, sir. Um, I mean, it brings up a good point. I mean, this is just common. I'm not gonna say this is common sense. This is kind of common. Okay, there we go. This is kind of common sense in the IT world. Is to always test your changes. Okay, what Charles is saying is specifically having to do with the sub account is to make sure that you have a test sub account, and I'll show you mine here in a second. That I'm going to push this to. Okay, because what's going to happen? What he's saying here, and this is a I'm getting a long way around what he's saying here. Is when you're going to push this to a particular sub account to refresh it, HighLevel is going to check for conflicts, okay? Hopefully it will find them, hopefully it will highlight them, and hopefully it will help you resolve them. However, he's saying don't rely 100% on that. So what you should be doing is once you have, so basically what I've done right now is I've sucked the main model, if you will, the main model sub account, I've snuck it into a snapshot. Now I need to push that out to anybody who has that snapshot, someone who I've given it to for free, somebody who's bought it, things like that. All kinds of stuff there. Let me make sure I do. Gotta get some audience participation here. And then what I can do now is I'm going to do what Charles was saying right here. Is that I can push it to a particular location, or I can push it to. See, can I push it to a linked location? Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to create a test account on the fly here. So we're going to create this one. I don't know why it wants to know my location. Add account manually. We're going to create one. This is Mr. Charles is being so helpful for us. This is the Charles Higgins. Charles at SDN.1, one of my test subdomains. Patrick hates this part. Let me see how much I can get away with without doing this. You know what? Where in the world, here's a sidebar, where in the world did they get this list of niches? Aboriginal Art Gallery, aerobics instructor, where did they get these lists of aluminum welder? Sometimes I just want anime. Where did they get these lists of industries? Okay. We're going to say this is Oklahoma, 73112, 405, 555, 1212. Let's see how much I can get away with filling out here. Okay, so I'm creating a new sub account that I'm going to push the snapshot into. Okay, boom. Okay, load snapshot. Load snapshot. I'm going to pick which one was it? It was the, oh goodness gracious, Patrick. You've got, it was my PM speaker snapshot right there. Where's my PM speaker? There, PM snapshot speaker right there, okay? So I'm now going to, it's gonna just double checking on all the assets, okay? Yeah, I'm gonna select them all, I'm gonna proceed. Checking for conflicts. This is what Charles was saying right here is don't 100% rely on this. He brings up a very good point. Never rely solely on the native conflict checking. But then again, this is a brand new empty account, so there wouldn't be any conflicts, right? Okay, so that now is being pushed to that sub account. And again, let me do some things offline here to not open my own kimono. Sub accounts. Bear with me for just a second while I wait for something to load over here while HighLevel does its thing. I'm just looking at the list of sub accounts to see when this other one's going to be created. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, it's right there in front of me. Here we go. Okay, so I didn't realize I named it just WEF, which was kind of dumb of me. But at least let's make sure my settings are correct right here. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is a sub account that's pushed to right now. Okay, so this, if I come over here to my automations, you'll see I have some of the stuff that's pushed here. As a result of that PM speaker one, if you will. Okay, so now what I can do is Okay. Um, Sorry for me jumping around a lot here. So here's back here. So here's the main snapshot right here. So now we're going to cover the full life cycle, okay, which I should have done before. I wasn't quite prepared for this. So we're going to duplicate this workflow, and we're going to call this cool new workflow 2, okay? If am I losing anybody here, or is everyone keeping up with me? I have several viewers here. So here is a new workflow right here. I'm going to activate this workflow, okay? And so now this is my master. This is my master, the master from which the snapshot is based upon. Okay. So now what I have to do is number one is I have to let's show you here my list, my agency side, my list of snapshots. Okay. So this has changed. So now again, I'm going to refresh this snapshot based on the changes I made over here. Because remember the snapshot's based on PM snapshot speaker. Okay. I'm going to refresh that. So that's refreshing that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it back out into my WEF account. So we're going to cover the entire life cycle here. And this, for those of you who are just unfamiliar with snapshots, this should give you an idea of how to basically the whole concept of navigating snapshots, where you pull them in from test accounts and you push them out to live accounts, okay? Or and live tests, those are just general sub account categories, okay? So I'm over here in my list of where was I? Over here, is it still sucking it in? Okay, so refresh 949. Let's refresh our page here, make sure we get the latest copy. Okay, so this has been refreshed based on cool new workflow 2 right here. But over here in the account, over here in the account, this is the test account. This is the client account, if you will. Let's call this the client account that is based on that snapshot. I want to get that to this person right here. Okay. The first part of it was me pulling it in from the master account because we had the refresh, and now I can use this right here to push it to a linked location. So it's going to show me all the sub accounts / linked location. By the way, verbiage, sub account, and location are the same thing in HighLevel. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe when this was lead connector, or that was the main term used, that these were all supposed to be separate locations, but they may not be separate locations. They're also called sub accounts. So sometimes those terms can get confusing if you're jumping back and forth between them too much. So sub account, I'm going to select all of them here. Proceed. It's going to say, what do you want to push from the snapshot to the sub accounts? Okay. Workflows, 8 of them. I had some other assets up here, custom fields, dashboards, yada, yada. This is the part that Charles is talking about here. Of course, you're going to proceed to check with conflicts with this one, but 100% don't rely up on this because you will have pushed this to a test account also. Override selected data. Of course, we're going to confirm that. Okay, snapshot is being pushed. You'll be notified when complete. Okay, and if I want to see when it's done, I can come over here and refresh this. Oh, that one actually went pretty fast. Okay, so does that make sense? That's how you kind of navigate between getting accounts from, and I would come up with a naming convention. So if you see here, for my main account, I call this PM snapshot. PM is my system playmakers. Okay, that is what my white label system is called, is playmakers. When as I build out more and more snapshots, I'm going to call them all PM snapshots. I'm going to know that there's never going to be a functioning business inside of this sub account. The whole goal of the sub account is just develop cool new features for people to use inside of their other snapshots. So I'm never going to add like real contacts. For example, I'm never going to add real contacts. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, Keith. You don't see it brought up too often, but Keith brings up a very good point here. It's kind of implied when you see all the other stuff inside of HighLevel. The term location is a legacy from when Sean, the CEO, thought the primary purpose was review requests for local businesses with unique GMB locations, and this has since grown into so so much more. Okay, but back over here on the screen, on my screen share is this account, which I'm following my naming convention of PM Snapshot, is never going to have any functioning contacts in it, never any functioning opportunities in it. Okay, and it will have the opportunities pipeline, which I haven't put in here yet. Always keep a log of any changes you make to snapshots. Good idea. Good idea, Charles. So this is my naming convention for my snapshots. I keep jumping around here, and then over in the HighLevel agency side is where you suck in the changes from that, and you can see right here that it always gives you the sub account that is based upon right there, which is kind of cool. Okay. And then this is where you create new accounts, you refresh them, all that stuff right there. You can rename, all kinds of cool. It'll also tell you the last time that was refreshed, which is important to keep track of. And then as you push those out to either your test sub accounts or your live sub accounts for clients, you can always come over here and refresh and check and make sure those changes were pushed out. So there were a lot of questions this morning about sub accounts and refreshes and things like that. Hopefully that cleared it up. It may not have. Sometimes the way Patrick works, I may have made things more confusing. But yeah, that's how you dance around with snapshots, okay? And it really is. Even I don't take advantage of them as much as I should, and I have plenty of snapshots I've plugged in. It's just I've been busy off on doing other things, and like Keith and Charles have mentioned, there's a million different ways to get stuff done inside of HighLevel. But for those of you, that have come in and out several times while you've been watching, the real value of is number one, snapshots, but the only real value you get out of snapshots, in my opinion, is if you keep a lot of stuff inside of your custom values down here. So I haven't put any custom values in this one yet. I have plenty of custom fields for stuff I've put in. Have I put any custom fields in this yet? No, I haven't. Okay. This obvious one's very, very raw. But custom values, man, you put a lot of stuff in custom values and custom fields, you can do amazing things for particular business industry niches, if you will. So give that a shot. I would encourage you to build your first snapshot as soon as possible. I'm just double checking over here on social media one more time to see what other kind of easy, simple questions I can answer here. Keith, thank you for showing up. Charles, thank you for showing up, and anybody else who has chosen to remain anonymous. And don't forget, Patrick has to do his blatant plugs here. Yeah, okay. And for those of you that are watching that are in my world of HighLevel, one last thing I am going to plug here is number one, please make sure you get registered for the conference also, but also I'm driving down the Sunday of the 20th. I'm working on putting together some kind of local event on the 21st right around the Statler Hotel area. I've actually reached out to the Statler Hotel to see if I can get one of their breakout rooms. If not, the Hampton Inn is right there. So that I've created an event on Facebook under my personal profile. Go look for that event and at least comment on it and keep track of it. I'm looking together to get maybe like 10 people into a room with laptops and go over to kind of do some group think and some group sharing. Maybe get a vendor or two in there to cover their particular products, but just something the day before for people that aren't going to be involved with all the VIP stuff. Okay, I'm not VIP, so I have nothing going on Sunday and nothing going on Monday. Maybe Monday afternoon, we can all go to registration together. But I'm going to work on putting together that because I always like pre-events to regular events. Is there any ways to sell a package of 4 tutoring sessions and book each one individually? Decor Divas. Yes, there is a way. Good question. Let me see. Let me think about this first. Is there any way to sell? Let's look at this question here. I was waiting for some more questions here. Let's get this on screen. Is there a way to sell a package of 4 tutoring sessions and book each one individually? When you say book each one individually, are you talking about kind of keeping track of the number that they've booked? Or to have them go to the appointment booking page 4 times? Okay. So out of the box, this is one of those things where Decor Divas, and by the way, I would like to know your real name, unless your first name really is Decor. If so, then that's the damnest coolest name I've ever seen, right there. So HighLevel is so flexible, and Charles and Keith brought this up before that, yeah, we can do this. There's a bunch of different ways to do this. There really are. However, you just have to get very creative. I mean, basically, HighLevel is this kind of giant mold of this clay mold, and you can make it do whatever you want. So let's talk about how some of the pieces of this. So first of all, you are going to let's jump back over to our test account. Let's get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one. Let's hop over here to our oh, there we go. We'll go to our training account right here. Hey, Larissa Huss, thank you for watching. I appreciate that. So that's upon booking page individually. So here is what your available options are. Okay, number one, you can make it so when they buy something, that you kind of set up a counter to keep track of the number of sessions they get. Okay, personally, that's yeah, yes and no, exactly. It's the answer to every question, is it? That's one of the first things I would do. So one of the first things I would do is I'm going to jump into one of the automations that we were all working on here together. Here, we'll say this one right here is grant access to tutoring sessions. Okay, tutoring sessions. So we're gonna kind of rejig some of the stuff we put together here. Okay, grant access to tutoring sessions. Okay. One of the things I would do in the interest of variabilizing everything is, number one, is I would come over here into custom fields. And again, my fellow nerds, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to put in, I'll do another order information here. I'm going to create a new field called number, and we'll call this one pending tutoring sessions. Okay. And then what I would do, just again in the interest of keeping track of information, if nothing else, is I would come over here to the tutoring sessions, and we're gonna ignore, you know what, we're gonna first of all get rid of that because we're going down a different path now. I'm going to, number one, put a note on the client. Bought, purchased, actually we'll say purchased, contact, custom fields, and let's see, number of tutoring sessions should be on here. Some pending tutoring sessions, purchased X tutoring sessions, right? Okay, and then what I'm gonna do before that is I'm going to update custom update contact field. We're going to find those tutoring sessions, and we're going to make that the number 4. Okay. And the reason I do that, if for nothing else, is for us to just kind of keep track of the number of sessions that are remaining. Okay. But the challenge here comes in the fact that when somebody books an appointment, is you don't know how many tutoring sessions they have. And I'll give you an example here. Okay. If you want to talk to Patrick, okay, you can always come to my page, stopdoingnothing.com/talk. Okay. I use this page for people to book sessions with me. The challenge is I don't know when someone comes to this page how many pending tutoring sessions they have. Okay. I don't know if they're out of them. I don't know if they have 4. I don't know whatever it is. Okay. So using the normal booking calendar, you kind of have to get creative with, because again, this is a wide open web page, and unfortunately, there's no way to know who is on this page to know what their available sessions are. So coming back over here, so someone does this. Pinnacle, more people need to do that. Add contact notes and workflows. Think of this from a log. Yeah, 100%. Man, I eat those notes up. Okay. Sorry, Larissa. I'm just trying to think about this out loud as I'm doing this right here. So sorry if I ramble for a little bit. So on the initial order right here, you're going to you're going to set that number of tutoring sessions right here. And then what you're going to do is I'm going to create up another workflow for you right here called I'm assuming you're going to have a booking calendar for just these tutoring sessions. So you would have a booking calendar for just these tutoring sessions, which is separate from your main like lead booking calendar, if you will. Okay. I'm going to call this one booked new tutoring session. Okay. Trigger I'm going to leave off for now. But this is where I would come in here and I would what do I want to do here? Oh, contact field. Wait, this is where I want to do some math, right? Math. Custom. Nope, I take that back. First thing I want to do here is I want to see if they have any tutoring sessions left. Now, again, it's going to be possible for someone to book something on your calendar even if they have no tutoring sessions left. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, because again, you cannot check that custom variable before somebody can book a session. At most, you might be able to use that booking page behind. No, I don't even think you can use that behind a membership site yet to limit it. But you just don't know. And Charles or Keith, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but that is the biggest challenge in this whole thing. Everything else is pretty easy. So for single tutoring sessions, yeah, that's easy. That's easy right there. But for your single tutoring sessions, so let me ask you this. For your single tutoring sessions, can someone book like 3 of those even though they bought one? That's the main challenge that we all have on this, is not being able to check someone's custom fields or custom values before they use that calendaring option. Okay, there's just nothing in HighLevel yet to really allow that. Okay, could be wrong. Math operation, appointment booked, filters to specific calendar, math operation, -1. But see, the question, Charles, is how do I, if I give somebody my calendar booking link, how do I check that math without knowing who they are? Okay, so please leave that in the comments below. One of the first things I was going to do myself, I was going to check and see if they booked, when they booked a new tutoring session, is to check here and see if there were any available, and then subtract one every single time. And if they booked a 5th one and there were none available, throw a flag of some sort. So what I would do is, I would come here and say any booking sessions left. You come here and say yes or no. And this one would be, contact details. This one would be, let's go find that tutoring. Yeah, they pay. Okay, but I have a question. Okay, so they have to pay. Okay, so they can't get through it right there. Okay, very cool. Got that right there. Very cool. You're very smart to do that. So number of tutoring sessions, pending tutoring sessions. So any booking sessions left, pending tutoring sessions is greater than. You can now via communication. Okay, so it sounds like there's a way greater than use one-time booking link. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so let's go over and do that real quick. Okay, again, there's just so much in HighLevel. So let's go over here then, and you may have to guide me through this, Charles. And sorry, Charles, if I had the guest option on, man, I would just invite you in as a guest so you could share your screen. So what you're saying is over here in calendars. Let's create a, come on, calendars. Where'd you go? Calendars. I'm going to learn something here. Okay, so what you're saying here is you can probably have a calendar. There's going to be a new calendar, and this is going to be book appointment. No, that's not what I want. Calendar settings. We want a new calendar, right? So we're going to do a new calendar here. Oh, wait, okay, I see what he's saying here. So if custom field is 1 or more, send one-time booking link. If 0, send, okay. And, okay, I get where you're going now, Charles. So would that be in the workflow? So if custom field equals 1 or more, send one-time booking link. If 0, send link to buy booking session. That would be in the workflow though, right? You can't do that in the UI. You can't do that on the front end page. Or are you saying that you can with the one-time session? um, Clarify that for me here. So yeah, would you do that? What I think you're saying though is doing it in the workflow versus doing it on the front end, right? So what you're saying, I think what you're saying here is calendar settings, create calendar, personal booking, round robin collective booking, event calendar, service booking. Are you talking about doing a personal booking with a one-time booking link? Is that what you're talking about? I'll have everybody else who's just watching here kind of watching Patrick fumble along as he does this. If custom field won't send one-time booking link, if zero, send link to buy booking session. I am being the Charles voice this morning is what I am, as I'm sitting here sniffling. See, a custom field equals, yeah. See, I really think what we're saying here is you know, what time link the workflow, you could one time link from the calendar. Okay, so yeah, what you're talking about is over here in the workflow, which is what I thought, which again kind of oh, okay, click on the three dots next to calendar. Thank you. So you're talking about in the calendar settings, three dots next to the calendar. So share one-time booking link. Probably be one of these down here. Share one-time link. Okay, so what he's saying is there's a share one-time link here. So this is how you would do it one time though. And I think what Charles is saying here, you need to send an email for each session purchased. Okay, so okay, you know what? Between Charles and Keith and I understand what's saying here. Okay, bear with us while those three brilliant guys try to figure this out here. Okay. So what they're saying is the number one in the workflow is you have to send them the link. So don't ever just give them a direct link. You're going to send them like a one-time booking link, okay? And then this is what you're doing here. Okay. My gears are churning as we're talking out here. So we are grant access to in the workflow. You can dynamically generate the one-time link. Okay, I get where we're going. Let me find the workflow I was working in right here. Grant access to tutoring sessions. So we're going to create a new workflow here. Start from scratch. Here we're going to say send booking links, and this is the only way people are going to get booking links. Okay, that's what we're saying here is you don't ever want to text somebody a booking link directly, and you don't want to email them the booking link directly. You're going to push them through the workflow to get the booking link. Okay, they're going to fill out some form and say I want a booking session or something like that, and you're going to put them through a workflow, which is the logic you get here. So what Charles is saying, yeah, and pause for a quick second here. I'll make sure I get your name right. Again, it's up here. A lot of stuff is coming through here. Come on, I saw it here. Larissa, thank you, Larissa. There, it was up there. Okay, so you're gonna get someone in this workflow, and then you're gonna do what Charles says here, which is where I was going before, is you're going to check the number of booking sessions. Okay. Larissa, what I was going to say is, do they have any tutoring sessions left? Okay. Yes. No. So what Charles was saying is then down here, you're going to come down here and you're going to check that tutoring field I have way down here. Where was that? That tutoring field way down here, pending tutoring sessions. Tutoring sessions is greater than 0. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Greater than 0 or no. Okay. So do they have any tutoring sessions greater than 0 save action. Okay. Save early, save often, save up here. No, they don't. So what he was saying is on down the yes branch is you're going to send them the one-time booking link, okay? And then down the no branch is you're going to send them the form to order more, okay? But again, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to fill out a form or something, or when they reach out to you via text or via email and they want to book another tutoring session with you, is you're going to have to somehow get them into this workflow right here and have the workflow help decide whether or not they get one, another booking session right here. And maybe it's a form that says I'll need another session with you, and the form is the trigger up here. But really quick, talking about support, because support gets a bad rap. Support isn't the greatest sometimes at helping solve your business problems. Support is really good at solving product issues and showing how to do something in the product, which is not the same thing as doing something in your business. This is a unique business challenge you have right here. And so, all of us, thousands, tens of thousands of people are using HighLevel, and support gets probably requests all the time. How do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? Um, and they are, in my opinion, that is not their function, so they're not great at that. What you have to do is you have to hire a Keith, or you have to hire a Charles, or you have to hire a Patrick to help you solve a business issue, a business challenge, where if a radio button is supposed to do something, like you move your mouse over the radio button and click on it, and it's not working, that's a good product problem that support is going to be great at solving. But if you come to support and say, you know what, I'm trying to figure out how to, make more money on my upsells, or do something custom like this, they are just not necessarily they're going to be the greatest at that. I don't believe, in my opinion. I believe that's true for every product. Every product support team is good at supporting the product, just not solving business issues. And you got to have brilliant people like Charles and Keith who to basically guide you through solving the actual business challenges. Let's talk about this question here. To clarity, they purchase the package and then it goes through the workflow. So this is the workflow they go through when they want to book a next appointment with you. So they did the initial purchase, right? They've got 4 sessions. The first thing you do after they buy the 4 sessions is you'd send them through this workflow, and this would either you send them through this workflow every time they want to book a session with you. Okay, they're going to go through the first session, second session, third session, fourth session. It's going to come through here, and every single time it's going to go down to the yes, where the yes one is going to send them the one-time booking link. They'll book on your calendar, all fine and dandy, regular account appointment booking stuff. On the fifth one, they're going to come through here. It's going to go down the no path, and you're going to send them the email and the text with the option to buy another 4 sessions or another one-off sessions. Okay, and then but this is not the one they would go through when they did the first purchase. Okay, so this is going to involve 3 or 4 workflows. Okay, when they did the first purchase, they're going to go through this one right here. Where was it? We're going to say, we're going to call this one initial purchase, okay? We're going to call this one initial purchase of tutoring sessions. This is all the setup. You're going to send them the welcome email, the welcome text. You're going to set this variable right here to pending tutoring sessions 4, okay? Oh, good point. Yeah, very good point. So, man, Charles is bringing out the really good creative stuff here. So what Charles is saying. So here's what Charles is saying. First of all, we're getting into multiple. You know what? Matter of fact, we're gonna start calling this tutoring to keep this organized while I'm winging it. Okay. So tutoring, backspace, initial purchase. Okay. We're going to call this one tutoring initial purchase. Okay, and then what was our other one here? This is tutoring initial purchase, and then what was the other one? Sending booking links. Okay, here's what Charles is talking about here. Charles, man, you and I are in sync. I'm picking up what you're putting down here. So, yeah, 100%. Or eCam zoom function, or bring you on an eCam, let you share your camera. So what Charles is saying is then when somebody shows up for a booking session, okay, somebody has said, okay, they booked an appointment with you, okay. So someone has booked an appointment with you. You guys did your tutoring session, and then one of the things you should be doing is, first of all, let's add my note here and back out, because again, oftentimes I don't do things in order. Booking session, we'll say completed. Booking session completed. And here's something actually Charles is going to jump into another area where I see people kind of slacking off a little bit on. Is once somebody, okay, calendar appointment. Do I have any pending calendar appointments here? Please tell me I do, so I don't look like a fool. Come on. Do I have any pending calendar appointments? Okay. So cool. So what Charles is saying is that this is the appointment that someone has booked with you. Okay. Someone has a tutoring session Sunday, September 29th at 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay. It was a 15-minute tutoring session. It's now 10:19. What you need to do is, after any given tutoring session, is you come in here and you mark the tutoring session as showed. Okay. It will update the appointment status as showed. So we then, number one, it keeps this board clear. Okay. But then guess what? Appointment showed is a triggering item. So then we can come over here. So Charles and I have like ESPN or something. What Charles was saying here is then your triggering item here becomes that showed event. So after every one, you're pushing in the book the next one. Does that make sense? So the triggering event here is the spinny blue circle, which is making me look like a fool. I hate spinning blue circles. Let's click on my own spinning white circle to fix the spinning blue circle kind of thing, okay? HighLevel, why are you hating on me like this? Why are you making me look like a fool, HighLevel? What did I do to you today? What did I do to you today, HighLevel? I'm just going to keep clicking my white circle until you get rid of my blue circle. Okay, and then your triggering event here comes appointment status, okay? Event type normal. You're going to filter by the calendar because we're being smart about this, and you're going to say select appointment status is showed. So when someone shows for their appointment, you're going to take the appointment. You are, of course, it's because I'm live. Everything's slower when you're live. So is this making sense? That when somebody shows up for their appointment, you're probably going to take some notes someplace. You have to go in and mark the appointment as showed. That's just a good practice no matter what we're talking about here, okay? And then when you do that, when you mark that the appointment as showed, it's then going to come through here, and then we can come here and do all the cool logic we were going to do before. Do they have any sessions left? Yes, no, and I'm checking that contact details field, the available tutoring sessions, pending tutoring sessions is greater than 0. Okay, and then you're going to do all, then down, if they have some left, you're going to send the one-time booking link down the yes path and the other one down the no path. And then something else you're going to have to do, because this is going to require multiple workflows. So I'm assuming you've got this part down, but then what you have to do is, you have to basically do the math to subtract it when they book a new one. So again, we're going to do another tutoring new session booked, and that is going to be the appointment status, right? Appointment status, because event type normal, in calendar, whatever calendar you're using here, and appointment status is confirmed, which is basically means they booked a new appointment, right? Because you're auto confirming your appointments. When they do that, you're then, number one, going to do what Charles and I have been preaching here, is new tutoring session. You're going to add a note. Please always add notes um, um, in your workflows. Booked. Date, it doesn't hurt to put this in the notes right here. Appointment, start date, time. And then we're going to do some math, baby. Come to our math operation. Select field, custom field, pending tutoring sessions, subtract 1. Update field, pending tutoring session, like that. So if you are watching, make sure you grab a screenshot of that right there. So basically, when they book a new tutoring session, you are going to subtract 1 for their number of available pending tutoring sessions, which is going to help you in that other workflow. Okay. And again, Keith is a brilliant guy. Charles is a brilliant guy. I just have this. Keith and I just have matching haircuts. That's what makes us. That's the only thing that makes us the same right there. But yeah, you just have to kind of get creative with it because you can't do it on the front end. So what Charles did is he basically found a way to do it is after each session, you're doing the math and you're checking right there. And then obviously publish, save early, save often. And then you're going to come down here and you're going to start doing your appointment reminders. Okay. You got to nag people to show up. To these appointments. Okay. And so you're going to come down here, you're going to set, you're going to set a event start date to the whatever the goodness gracious, whatever the whatever just the normal appointment reminder stuff that you have to do to get people to do that, and then do the day before, a couple hours before, a couple of reminders for. Love the energy when high-level geeks come together to solve a problem. Yeah, and that was probably one of my goals of the day before session there, Charles, is if we can get a room in Dallas someplace, and I'm open to anyone, any kind of assistance, because all I have right now is the concept in the area. Wash hands. You crack me up, Keith. Is to do stuff like this where people can come in who aren't necessarily the super geeks or the super techs, and we can solve business problems like this. And so again, it would be nice if you could solve this in one marketing automation, but you can't. So you end up down here with at least 3. This is the one after the new session is booked. The initial purchase is the setup, and then when they do the appointment complete. And to tell you the truth, Charles brings up something else. Tamara McDonald, the funnel experts. Hey Patrick, Tamara. Where are you listening from, Tamara? What took you so long to get here, girlfriend? Where are you coming in from here? I actually like when I was talking early on in this live stream, I like it when not only do I like having automations for every stage of a funnel, I like also having automations for every stage of an appointment. Okay, these are just some of the default things I like setting up for clients, because these provide you for easy hooks to do stuff later. And what I'm referring to, for those of you that's kind of joining last minute here, is I like creating, so we have a Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Woohoo! We have an international stream here. So right here, we did this automation based on the appointment status of showed. I like having an automation for every single one of these: new, confirmed, canceled, showed, no show, invalid. If nothing else, I put notes in the contact record. But also, you can do cool stuff like Charles was saying here, where when an appointment is done, you may, maybe when an appointment is done with someone, you want to leave a note to yourself to contact them about an upsell or an order bump, or you want to do some kind of follow-up, or you want to remind them to book their next appointment like we did today. Yeah, Charles is saying down here, you could do it all in one workflow, but it's not recommended. You would have a massive workflow, which becomes hard to diagnose. Exactly. Not only that, the way workflows work, and again, this is those of us who grew up on Tamara, I'm going to be there. You going to be there? I'll be there. Matter of fact, Tamara, we're trying to put together an event the day before. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the event in a minute. But I grew up in the world of programming where I wrote programming in like small chunks, and everything was a function, and everything was a subroutine. And there's a word I probably haven't said for 10 years. Everything was a subroutine, and you get that one small thing working, and you make that one small thing uh, be um, be very flexible, okay? And then once you have that one small thing working, which in our case is a workflow, then you don't have to worry about that anymore, okay? Once you've beat on that and you've tested that, then you can go on to the next piece and next piece and next piece. Versus, and this is the difference here. A very good example. If you have a workflow that's 10 steps, okay, there's a chance of failure at every single 10 steps. And I'm using a very macro example here. But if you have 10 workflows that are one step, you're gonna have a better chance of getting each step working and diagnosing issues versus one long workflow. Now, in the world of HighLevel, 10 steps is nothing, okay? But every now and then in the Facebook group, do you ever see someone brag about their automation and you can't even see it because it's so zoomed in? Um, Programming days as well. Did you ever do mainframe work, Charles? I did mainframe work, man. Not even like 5 miles down the street, I did mainframe work. Um, but um, but I'm talking about, every so often someone brags in the HighLevel Facebook group, and they will put in a very zoomed out example of an automation like this, and like, look how complicated this is. And I'm like, that's a nightmare for me to imagine something like that. Um, so Tamara, yeah, I'll be there also. I'm trying to get together an event for Monday, whatever. I think Monday is the 21st. I'm looking for a room in the area for some super geeks to get together, some super geeks and some non super geeks to help solve problems like we just had. Modules is another way of doing it. Functions, I always like functions because you can pass data into functions and get functions out as another term. But yeah, for those of you that grow up in the programming world, you learn to build and code stuff in small chunks, and you get that small chunk working, and then from there, um, and then from there you can go into your next small chunk and your next small chunk. And what this allows you to do also is allows you to repurpose, workflows a lot. It's not uncommon for, when I was doing programming. Um, when I was doing programming back in the day, for me to just go into a new programming project and take a bunch of functions or code or small blocks of code I had written in previous coding things and just pulling them forward because I wrote them flexible enough to reuse. So yeah, Tamara, there's an event on my personal profile. RSVP to that event, and that's where I'll be putting some updates on this. This is in the very early stages. Of planning, but I'm determined to make this happen. I'm just hunting for a room right now. We need a room, we need coffee, and we need Wi-Fi. Okay, that's all we need for us to rule the world in the world of HighLevel. So, yeah, Keith, my undergrad is in computer information systems, and then most of my programming classes in COBOL on HP mini computer. I am so sorry, Keith. My condolences, man. I cut a lot of my IT teeth on Hertz, the rental car company. Their data center is like 5 miles down the road. And I was actually at a higher level of tech support where I managed the mainframe and I rebooted it and I kept it up and running for all the programmers that did do COBOL programming. So I've seen my share of 8-inch floppies and cassette tapes, and I've seen my share of COBOL coding. Yeah, Tamara is brilliant. She said something right here, which is very very true. And once you're in the HighLevel world for a while, you realize this. Those huge workflows look impressive, but a nightmare to troubleshoot. Exactly, they are a nightmare to troubleshoot, and there may be a time and place for them. Um, I just never build my stuff like that. C++, SQL, Python. These are dirty words, Charles. Please stop cursing on my live stream. I really don't appreciate it, okay? Those are words that are emotionally scarring to me, and I don't appreciate you doing that to me on a Sunday morning, sir. Okay, that is just not very nice. And you're going to make me cry when I see words like that. Let's see what Tamara say here. I'm looking for expert advice on managing SaaS. I've worked inside agencies that have thousands of sub accounts, and managing and auditing them is kind of a nightmare. Yeah, Tamara, let's talk about that in person. I mean, heck, if Charles and Keith show up in Dallas, we can all talk about that. Until then, connect with any of us. Obviously, I'm not going to be out here pimping myself, but I trust Keith and Charles with my life. So any one of the three of us could help you when it comes to maybe some ways of managing this. And please, everyone, if you're not connected with me on Facebook, please connect with me on Facebook. Just do a friend request right now. Do it. Scroll up, do a friend request on Facebook, or if on YouTube, subscribe. And if I did my tech right on my YouTube subscribe thing, your name will pop up. So can someone try that for me? Right above my head, if you subscribe on YouTube up here, your name should pop up in a little box right over here. Will this be recorded? Yeah, this is being streamed on Facebook and on YouTube. And when I stop the live stream, the recording will be on there as well as on my own laptop. This recording has been almost, what are we going on here? Almost 3 hours. And so I'm not going to upload this to the HighLevel Facebook group. You guys know I've done like shorter tutorials before that I put on my YouTube channel, and I will upload to the Facebook group. I'm not going to bog them down with something that's over 2 hours long. Nobody wants to hear Patrick talk for 2 hours. Okay, I'm married to people that don't want to hear me talk for 2 hours. But yeah, I'm going to bring up Tamara's comment right here, which I've seen from other people before. I'm looking for expert advice on managing SaaS. I've worked inside agencies that have thousands of sub accounts, and managing auditing them is a nightmare. You know, Tamara, congratulations, and we can find a way to help you solve this first world problem. I'm surprised you haven't bought any of the support options yet, like Extendedly or things like that. But you know what? I said I would do this as long. Well, first of all, let me go here and check Facebook. Look at that. That is so cool, Tamara. Fist bump. Let's give Tamara some other love right here. Tamara gets balloons right here, okay? Let's come over here and see. I want to make sure that see if there's any other last minute questions from my thread this morning that I can easily answer for people that are watching. You create a calendar. Someone can choose different sources. Okay, yeah, this one question, if you know an easy way to create a calendar where someone can choose different services from a list, each do it. I don't know if the technology will allow you to subscribe and unsubscribe and pop it up again, but heck, give it a shot. That one is going to be just a more complicated one for us to cover. Let me come over here. Getting inbound webhooks to route information to custom fields. So Jeremy, you know what? Here's a question we can't answer. Get on the stream now and let me know you're there. Let's try it. Okay, Keith, Charles, this is the question we're going to work on, okay? Getting inbound webhooks to route information to custom fields. I've tried it over a dozen times and always get an error. This is going to be the absolute last one we're going to cover here. Okay. Getting inbound webhooks to route information to custom fields. I've tried over a dozen times and always get an error. That actually shouldn't be too terribly hard. Let's create a workflow here. Let's see, we're going to again start one from scratch. And I'm ready for that pop-up to go away. And we're going to say update custom fields, update custom field, field from webhook value. This one actually seems kind of simple there, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to do a webhook, which is a very cool advanced way to get data outside from HighLevel into HighLevel, okay? And let's say in this particular case, we're going to use the tutoring calendar thing that we just talked about, okay? Let's say that an external system, is going to push in the number of tutoring sessions that we talked about earlier, okay? So as you see on here, what I'm doing is I'm creating a new inbound webhook, which is a premium trigger. So there's a charge for it. And initially when you do this, you get the string right here, and you have to trigger this at least once before you can save this. Last time I checked, yeah, you cannot save this until you started mapping the fields from one to the other. So the thing I do is oftentimes I will grab that inbound webhook. I will hop over here into a browser session and I will ping that inbound webhook with question mark, and let's say I'll just give it any random variable. It doesn't matter. Sessions equals 4. So this is my booking software for my tutoring thing, and someone for some reason, let's say, bought it in an external session, and this is passing information to HighLevel that this person has purchased for booking sessions. And you know what? We better get really fancy here and say email equals Keith at baldguymarketing.com. Did I get that right? Keith. So this person, Keith, and we can say also what name, we'll say F name equals Keith. Okay. Let's get the minimum amount of information here. So we're going to pass 3 things in this webhook. Got this right. First one's a question mark, ampersand, and ampersand. That @ sign is probably going to give me a problem because it's not encoded, isn't it? But let's give it a shot. Okay, so this is my inbound webhook. Did it work? I can't tell if it worked. Did it? Fetch sample requests. There we go. Okay, so it did work. So this is where you can start. This is the sample request that happened at 10:39, and this is where you can start mapping the. This is where you can start mapping the data that's passed in. Okay, so let's look at this payload here. And there are the 3 query parameters that were passed in. Okay, hopefully, Jeremy, if you're watching, because this was your question, dude, you're hopefully getting on here. Here's the 3 query parameters that were passed in. By the way, this is a very much a super geek thing, webhooks are. Okay, so these are the things that are passed in right here, and those are not available inside of HighLevel yet. Okay, these are just query string things that are passed in from external systems. Okay. So I'm going to save that. Now I can use that trigger, and now I can create a contact from that, okay? And this is where you map your query string parameters. By the way, people like to call those UTM parameters. They are not UTM parameters, okay? UTM parameters are a type of query string parameter. But all of them are query strings. Some of them are UTMs, just to be clear, okay? And this is where you can start mapping these, okay? So we can select a field here, and wait. Come on. Wait, I didn't do this right. Create a contact. Add field. So, okay, so these are the contact fields, okay? The first thing I want to do is always get my email address updated, okay? And here I can pick the email address from the inbound webhook trigger, okay? The query string, because remember we have multiple query parameters, email address, okay? So I'm going to update the contact field email address from the query string parameter right here, okay? And then what else did we have? We had name, aim, first name, which is our buddy Keith right here, inbound webhook trigger, the query parameter of first F name, okay? And is it going to let me pick tutoring sessions? Pending tutoring sessions, okay? We know that's going to be 4. So it's going to be the query parameter set for sessions right there. And so that, my friends, is how you map inbound webhook parameters. And again, it specifically was for Jeremy Wickner, so somebody may want to tag him. Yeah, getting inbound webhook information. Yeah, he brings up a very good point here. Yeah, getting inbound webhooks to route information to custom fields. I've tried over a dozen times and always get an error. So Charles, that may be what Jeremy's running into is incorrect information being mapped. And what Charles is talking about here is you have to make sure you are passing the correct data structure to the custom field. You can't pass text to custom date field. Data strings must match. And so he's right. So what I'm saying here is that I happen to know that pending tutoring sessions is a number, so I can pass a 4 there. If I was trying to pass the word for, F-O-U-R, it would fail spectacularly right there. So the data types have to match, and you put an example of like a date data type right here. And Keith, Very cool. Yeah, he's bringing up a very good example right there. And Keith, as always, man, thanks for your comments. But yeah, mapping query string stuff to HighLevel isn't very hard. And to me, trust me, it's easier than some of the other systems I've worked in, where you have to map like inbound webhooks or you have to integrate external systems. And by the way, for those of you who ever are wondering how to integrate external systems, oftentimes you'll see in the Facebook group, where are we at? This is my longest stream ever. 2:43. This is my longest live stream ever. You guys are really, really killing me. Not killing me. I'm not doing anything anyways. I already did my exercise this morning. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, for if you're ever wondering, you know what? Let's get back to our regularly scheduled screen share here. Here we go. If you are ever wondering, can I integrate A with B? Okay, the first thing you have to do is go see if one of the first things you should do, in my opinion, is go see if A can push an HTTP post or push a webhook. If an external system can push a webhook out from their software, the integration issue is solved. That's all it takes. Okay, thanks, Charles. You can use the formatter action to get help with this, or use GPT to kind of reformat data. But webhooks, and I'm not going to bring the webhook again, but the beauty of the webhooks is that HighLevel made it so that that's an easy integration point for any software out there. There could be another company who has never even heard of HighLevel, but as long as they can push webhooks out, or even if like a mobile app, if you can get like a mobile app to push a webhook and you can give it the webhook, which you get from HighLevel, and you can give it the parameters for the webhook. HighLevel can suck that in, and that then becomes a triggering event. So you can do all kinds of cool stuff. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if I could trigger a HighLevel action from my Stream Deck over here. Okay, my Stream Deck is my cool little USB thing with all these buttons that I use to control my audio video setup. But I wouldn't be surprised in the world of geeks that if I could press a button, that button could fire a webhook, and then that webhook could trigger a HighLevel action. Okay, that is just the world these days. It makes it so easy for A to integrate with B. And it's just really is a brilliant thing. If there's something in WordPress you want to trigger an action in HighLevel, just make sure the WordPress plugin or whatever it is can push stuff out via a webhook. So that is the answer to every single integration question. If something can push a webhook, then in query strings, or I can push a webhook and do like a JSON block, then the integration is easy. And this is the kind of stuff that these super geeks out here, that the Charleses of the world, that the Patricks of the world, that the Keiths of the world, that we see that stuff. It's like matrix code. It's like some people may hop into the group and say, I don't know how to integrate these two things. Is that webhook? Problem solved. Pay me my money. Show me the money, and I will get your integration going, because it's going to be pretty easy stuff. And let's check over here again for any last minute questions, because the coffee is starting to have its effect on me. Okay, yeah. So Jeremy Wickner, make sure if you're watching, make sure that's useful there. And Stream Deck, if this then that. See, Charles solved it. Charles solved it right there. Is Stream Deck to if this then that webhook. By the way, what I'm talking about, the webhook thing goes the other way also. And if you ever want to get really fancy, this is how fancy I've gotten, because I've just gone down the geek rabbit hole before. I have actually made my lights, triggered the lights in my office when I got a sale inside my CRM. I can make the lights change to like green, because as long as because all these days, all of the things in your house are connected to the web. Okay, and I have hue lights. I have Elgato lights in front of me. I have hue lights in back of me. I could make it so, and I've seen this before in like live streams, where like the people in the chat on the live stream can control the lights, or I can make it so when HighLevel gets a sale, that like the lights behind me turn green. So if I'm heads down on my iPad doing something, all of a sudden the room turns green. We know Daddy made some money. Okay. Well, I thought this was going to be a quick, short live stream. Turns out it was not. It was a longer one. Thank you for all of those of you who watch. A couple things. Number one, I'm always going to push the subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget that I have a HighLevel playlist on YouTube. And I'm going to put this video in the HighLevel playlist. So you may want to bookmark that playlist specifically as we add more HighLevel things on here. Number two, I need to basically get the interview process set up so I can bring in the Charles and the Keys to the World so we can have multiple kind of geek powwows. Let me see what else I was going to create. I said, come subscribe on YouTube. Um, thing I have to do. What else was I going to say? Oh, if you haven't got your ticket to Dallas yet, this is a blatant plug. I get no money for this, but please make sure you get your ticket to Dallas. I've got an Airbnb room down there. I'll be staying down there. Probably have some late nights, so I'll definitely be sleeping and snoring. Um, and then what else was I going to say? Oh, and then the day before, the event starts, the evening of the 20th, the day starts. Sunday's the 20th. I'm driving down from Oklahoma City on the 20th to get down there. The 21st, I'm available all day. So we're gonna find a room someplace somehow. We may end up at that counter at the Starbucks. Down what the Starbucks is like 2 blocks away, but we will find a way for us to get together. And I'm gonna obviously get you guys on my email list so I can communicate with you about this. But I just really have always dreamt of having a nice pre-event for something like that, and that's cool. That's cool, Charles, that you have a Pinnacle Hue and Elgato here set up as well. I don't have an Elgato camera. I have a Sony camera, but I've thought about just going straight Elgato. Elgato everything for the front end stuff here. So for those of you that stayed on, anyone here stayed for the entire 2 hours and 50 minutes? I don't think anybody did stay for that long, but if you did, thank you very much for watching. This has been another spontaneous uh, Patrick Sunday tech session. I'm sure my wife is wondering why I'm in here so long working, but I know she's up and she hears me also. So, the coffee's, you know what? I said I wasn't going to go. I stayed true to my word. I said I was going to go until the coffee was done. The coffee is not done. The coffee is done. Okay? The coffee is done. Best camera, Instacam 360. The coffee is done. You go out and have a beautiful Sunday and try to get away from the computer, please. Please. I'll see you. Oh, that's what something else I was going to say. Don't forget, Patrick has a live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 o'clock. So I got to get off of here and start setting up all this stuff to plan for the live stream. Take care. We'll see you Monday morning.